Well, well, well. Just watched the Green Bay Packers beat the Washington Commanders. And after watching both of these teams play tonight, I'm starting to think the Dallas Cowboys may actually be the best team in the NFC. Let's talk Cowboys. We're about to talk facts. And we live. Let's go. Yep. Let's go. Yep. Man, I'm feeling better and better about the Dallas Cowboys every time I watch one of these so-called top NFC teams play. Let's go. Welcome, Cowboy fans and Cowboy haters alike. I'm the G, and I'm the host of Let's Talk Cowboys, where we talk facts. And if you like this live stream, or when you come into this live stream, please hit that like button, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell, so that you'll know the next time we post another video and go live. And we are live right now. And if you haven't become a channel member, subscriber yet, please do. We have a lot of great things coming up this season. Now let's talk facts. Now, we're gonna finish this up today. From what we were today, we kind of got down to Jadeveon Clowney. But we're gonna skip down to the Commanders and the Packers, because I want to talk about that first, and then we'll get back into our regularly scheduled program. But this thing with the Commanders and the Packers, man, I'm just telling y'all, we'll see how things turn out as the season goes on. But I am telling you, man, this Dallas Cowboy team is starting to look better and better, man, every time I watch one of these teams play. And we'll talk about where we are with the Commanders and the Packers as we get going. But so we're gonna talk about Jadeveon Clowney. Want to make sure we get that in. We're gonna talk about Jadeveon Clowney. We'll listen to Reddy Stewart. We're gonna talk about Jadeveon Clowney. We'll talk about Clayton Adams. We'll listen to Aikman on the ticket. First, though, we're going to talk about the Commanders versus the Packers. I think this is very, very important. The Commanders versus the Packers. Again, appreciate y'all rocking with me. We about to get this thing going. Let's get a quick roll call. And then we're gonna start talking about this game. Let's go. Man, I'm excited tonight. Let's go. First up, Derek G. What up, Derek G? Yo, G, bless him. Derek G. He said Dan Quinn's defense does not block the same as they did when he was with us. I don't think he has the players over there, though he had when he was with us. We should beat Green Bay. Derek, I'm gonna tell you something. We'll talk about it more later, but man, that Commanders team, bro, they don't have no firepower. They don't have no firepower. They don't. They absolutely don't have any firepower. It is basically Jaden Daniels a bust. I feel for them. They just don't have the firepower over there. Cowboys Nation 600. Yeah, the Dan Quinn defense bent and broke tonight. Sure did. The Basement Boys, Hoodie in the building. What's going on? Good evening. What's going on, Katharina Kiss? She said hit that like button. I absolutely agree. Roderick, what's going on? Late night over there in Flow Rider. What's going on? Oh, yeah, I'm about to tell you what I think about Michael Parsons as we get into this discussion tonight, Katharina Kiss. Richard Owens, what's going on? He said, I'm encouraged. Watching the Washington Commandos or the Commanders. Keep it close. We have a much better team than they do. Facts. I'm fired up too, Derek G. Hallelujah. Salute. I'm telling us, the way that these two teams looked. Oh, the Queen, my sister, what's going on? She said, well, let's hear it, G. Washington looked lost tonight. It was terrible. Terrible. Katharina said, not to mention they had a couple of injuries. Terrible. Absolutely terrible. Hallelujah. Individual sacks and pressures mean nothing. Football's a team game. I don't follow the ball when I watch ball I don't follow the ball when I watch football most times. I saw the things he did and created. We're going to talk about that in a minute. Alfredo, what's going on with you? A Star's Born. What's going on? Hey, half a sack. Mike is his new name. Half a sack. But I'm going to give you another stat that's insane. Pro Football Focus over here trying to exaggerate. But I'm going to show you what's up. Lulu 18, what's going on? Ty Howard up in this thing. Final Hall, what's going on? He said it's time to talk football. Let's go. Miss Matrix up in this thing. Let's go. Robert Simmons, what's up with you? All right, let me speed this thing up. I want to get going. Marlon Dillard up in here. Marvin Washington, good to see you. Blue Star TV. He said them Commanders are sorry. He said once they have tape on Jaden, he'll no longer play the same. And what we've seen today, one-hit wonders. Man, let me tell you, we've seen this too many times. Once this league catches up with you, bro, you're going to have to show him something different. Carlos Piper, he stayed up to catch the show. Appreciate you. Inglewood Trojans, let's go. C-Base up in here. Let's go. All right. Rena Zaguini, R-Dub, P. Wayne, let's go. Q-Town dude, let's get this thing going. Brandy said, what's up, my loves, as always. Let's go. C-Base said, but gee, wait a minute. Didn't the Sports Network say that the Commanders were the second best in the division? That's what they said. Uncle Charles, what's going on with you? Robert Simmons again, let's go. All right, we about to get this thing going. Victor Barber up in this thing. What's going on with you? The Big Rombowski. What's going on? Isn't it crazy that Cliff Kingsbury has absolutely no run plays for short yard situations? Big Rombowski, I'm starting to be convinced that Cliff Kingsbury job on the sideline for the Washington Commanders is to look good. That's the whole thing I can figure about here. It's just to look good. Mason Bartlett, what's going on? Danny, what's up? We'll be in second place after Sunday, I believe. For sure, I think we'll be in second place after Sunday. Brian Wofford, yeah, I'm ready for Sunday now too. I want to see us get busy out there. Jim Wilkins, what's going on? Big Rombowski, that 4th and 1, them boys is terrible, man. Robert Davis Jr. up in here, let's go. All right, let's get this thing going, guys. I appreciate y'all rocking with me tonight. I want to go to the Commanders. I want to go to a couple of comments that I made over on X. And I'm just telling y'all, man, these people are so disingenuous. These people are so disingenuous. Let me show you what Pro Football Focus posted. Shout out to Blue Star TV. He follows me over on X. Make sure I'm going to follow him back. Let me show you what they posted over here on... Let me show you what they posted over here on Pro Football Focus. All right, hold on a second. Let me do a little note here. All right, let me show you what they did over here on Pro Football Focus. Look at this. Let me show you how narratives are created. So Pro Football Focus, they couldn't wait to go and post Packers defense through 2 weeks. 8 sacks, 3 TDs allowed. Now, look at what they did. They put Michael Parsons as the picture, as if he's the reason why this is happening. The Green Bay Packers had all but destroyed the Detroit Lions by the time Michael Parsons came in the game last week. Tonight, the Green Bay Packers had 4 sacks. Michael Parsons accounted for 0.5. I guess we're going to call that half a sack. A Stars Born said half a sack Parsons. So he got half a sack. He got half a sack tonight. He had, I'm thinking, about 3 quarterback hits. And before we start talking about the quarterback pressures, everybody know that Tunsil is not what he used to be. Tunsil is not what he used to be. Michael Parsons beat Tunsil, and then they lined him up on a rookie. I don't understand the Commanders. Dan Quinn knows better. I don't understand the Commanders. But I guess I understand it like this. When you look at that Washington Commanders squad, you want to keep it 100% real? That's not a talented squad. The Washington Commanders are not a talented squad. They're not. That looks like the same squad last year that we beat with Cooper Rush and the same squad we almost beat with Trey Lance in his last game against the Commanders. It's not a talented squad. It's not that they don't have some talent. They just don't have the kind of talent that the Green Bay Packers have. The Green Bay Packers already had a great team. Kurt Herbstreit, I thought he made the statement of the night. He said that Michael Parsons joined a great team that was already headed in the right direction. I thought it was a statement of the night. I really did. I think it went over people's heads. But it was a statement of the night. Michael Parsons is benefiting from the Green Bay Packers. They're benefiting from him too. Don't get that part twisted. But he's definitely benefiting from them. They were already loaded. They have a very, very good defense. Now, we're going to see what they look like against some actual competition. That's what we got to see. I'm sorry, the Washington Commanders was no competition. Washington Commanders, Big Rumbowski, I already mentioned it. What run game do they have? What run game do they have? Run game is non-existent. Not physical up front. No run game. Tell me who they got on the outside. When Noah Brown. No disrespect to Noah Brown. But come on, man. I can't. I'm not going to talk bad about Noah Brown. But if Noah Brown is your third wide receiver, if he's your third wide receiver, and then you're telling me that, and then McLaurin. McLaurin is a number one for the Washington Commanders. I don't know if I'd want him as my number one if I'm the Cowboys. If I'm a top 5 team, I can't have him as my number one. I think he'd be great as a number 2, but a number 1? Deebo Samuels is a bona fide running back. Period. End of story. They would do better putting Deebo Samuel in the backfield, as a matter of fact. Deebo Samuel is the best running back they have on the team, and they're lining him up and run at wide receiver. I'm just being 100% truthful tonight. The Commanders, I feel for them. They just don't have the firepower. They don't. It's going to be a long season for them. People have picked up on, okay, so you're basically telling us all we have to do is stop Jaden Daniels. That's basically all we have to do. And I'm gonna give the Green Bay Packers some credit, Jared. I don't know. Let me give us the combination of Jaden Daniels. It wasn't necessarily that Jaden Daniels was bad per se. It's a combination of two things. The Green Bay Packers already had a good pass rush to a great pass rush without Michael Parsons. But then when you line Michael Parsons up on that rookie they kept lining them up on, then when you line him up against Tunsil, Michael Parsons was able to create some pressure on Jaden Daniels. And I think Jaden Daniels was a little bit antsy. But even when Michael Parsons wasn't on the field, they were still putting all kinds of pressure on Jaden Daniels. And that still, to me, is not what caused Jaden Daniels to look so bad tonight, Jared. Tell me again who this man's weapons are? Ertz? McLaurin? Deebo Samuels? Come on, man. I'm sorry. The Washington Commanders are absolute fool's gold. Any team with a good defense is going to be able to handle them. Any team with a good defense. I didn't even say great defense. Any team with a good defense can handle the Washington Commanders. I mean, I'm just telling us. When I look at their depth chart, man, you telling me Deebo Samuel, Terry McLaurin, Noah Brown, Zach Ertz, that's your... That's not a championship level team. It's not. It's not a championship level team. Y'all better listen to what Dan Quinn said last year. Dan Quinn specifically wanted to beat the Cowboys that last game because Dan Quinn knew that there was only one route that they were going to be able to get to the NFC Championship game. There is no way the Washington Commanders can make it to the NFC Championship game this year. There's no way. There's no way unless there are similar injuries to what there were last year. The Washington Commanders, I'm telling you, they don't have the squad. They don't have the squad. And the Green Bay Packers already had the squad. And then they go and add Michael Parsons to the squad. The Green Bay Packers are a very good team. I think they've yet to be challenged. And I think this narrative right here, when you think about the fact they played the Detroit Lions, who got a brand new offensive coordinator, brand new defensive coordinator. They look so discombobulated over there. Then the Washington Commanders tonight comes down to Green Bay. And I'm telling you, and if I'm not mistaken, the Green Bay Packers have played both of their games this year at home. All of this adds up. But they played the one team that the Detroit Lions, they don't have the coordinators yet that knows how to use the weapons that they have. And then they played a team tonight that don't have weapons. And I don't even know what to say about Cliff Kingsbury. Like I said, I just think his job is to stand on the sideline and look like a GQ model. Because I'm telling you, man, the play calling was just like, come on, man, you got to have better than this. And then when you look at let me tell you something. Matt LaFleur, master play caller. Dude, Matt LaFleur was calling some crazy, dumb plays out there, man. Matt LaFleur got Dan Quinn's number. Matt LaFleur, I'm going to give this dude credit. This dude is a master play caller. He's an absolute master play caller. But let me give you the other side of this, even with him. You know what's crazy, though? He didn't even score the kind of points you would have expected. He didn't score the kind of points that you would expect. And the reason why I say this, when you look at the Green Bay Packers, they are loaded with talent on the offensive side of the ball. And I don't think where they necessarily beat the Commanders was defense. I think where they beat them was offense. They put a lot of pressure on them because once they started scoring points on them, it became a problem. See, once you start scoring points on a team, we have to understand how powerful scoring points is. Scoring points are powerful from the point standpoint of that once you can get up on a team in points, you really begin to put a lot of pressure on them to be in passing situations that they may not want to be in, and then your defense can just pin their ears back and go after them. And so, again, not taking anything away from the Green Bay Packers, the team was already great. The team was already great. We're going to see how this thing, the trade and all this stuff turns out. Because I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know if we're necessarily going to know who won this trade until about 4 years from now. Because there's basically a 3 to 4 year window for both of these teams to go to the Super Bowl. There's a 3 to 4 year window for both of these teams to go to the Super Bowl. And they're both going to be facing each other in order to go to the Super Bowl. We're not going to really know who won this trade per se until we look back in about 3 or 4 years. Because if the Green Bay Packers were to go this year, well, what if the Cowboys go next year and win? We're not going to know for sure. But I can tell you this, 2 things can be true. I think the Cowboys are still a great team without Michael Parsons. The Green Bay Packers are a great team with Michael Parsons. So we're going to see how it turns out. But I'll tell you this, all this edge rushing stuff, it's great. I told you this before, but y'all going to call me a prophet before it's over. You're going to see the true benefit of having 2 elite defensive tackles versus having an elite pass rusher. You're going to see the difference. Elite defensive tackles help you go to Super Bowls. Elite edge rushers help you get to the playoffs. It's a difference. And the reason why I know this is because it's been true for the last few years. Tell me the great edge rusher in the last 5 years. Tell me the great edge rusher that has led a team to the Super Bowl. Tell me who it is. Tell me who it is. The only one that we could even remotely even talk about would be Nick Bosa. He's the only one we can even talk about as a powerful edge rusher that has been a pivotal part in his team going to the Super Bowl. And they didn't win it. All these edge rushers. But if you start talking about defensive tackles, when you start talking about the Jalen Carters, when you start talking about the Chris Jones, I guarantee you, we could go and look at, and we already know 3 of the last 5 who's been there. The Kansas City Chiefs, who's been there? Chris Jones, who went to the other 2, the Philadelphia Eagles. And they had great defensive tackle play in both of those Super Bowls. Jalen Carter in this one, and I forget the defensive tackle they had in 2022. I'm telling us, it is from the defensive tackle position on defense. That is what anchors a championship level defense. It anchors a championship level defense. And I bet you we could go back 10, 15 years easy. And I bet you every time you find these Super Bowl teams, you're going to find great defensive tackle play. Great defensive tackle play. And I'm telling us, we're going to see Kenny Clark and Oso Digizua being paired up together. We're going to be talking about this later on when we get into those winter months and we get down and dirty in that season. We're going to be saying Kenny Clark and Oso Digizua were anchoring that defense. And I'm telling you, Kenny Clark was a great addition to the Dallas Cowboys. Great addition. And again, that doggone watch the Commanders, guys. I'm just sorry. I'm just telling you how it is. They have nothing, man. That team is fool's gold. That team is absolute fool's gold. They had 230 yards of total offense, 179 yards passing, 51 yards rushing, 3.5 yards of play? Well, come on, man. Come on. This team, and I don't think it's as much, and don't get me wrong, I'm going to give Green Bay their credit. The Green Bay Packers have a great defense, at least from what I can tell right now. They seem to have a great defense. But they haven't necessarily been tested yet. They're going to get tested when they play the Cowboys. You watch what I tell you. The Cowboys are going to test them. The Cowboys will be the litmus test if the Green Bay Packers are really that good. They're going to test them. They're going to test them. I'm telling us. I don't care what anyone says. Jared Goff ain't Dak Prescott. Jared Goff ain't Dak Prescott. I know people want to tell you that Jared Goff is better than Dak Prescott. Jared Goff ain't Dak Prescott. In no universe is he Dak Prescott. Jaden Daniels, definitely not Dak Prescott. And again, the lack of weapons. I think the lack of weapons is what really contributed to this catastrophe by the Washington Commanders. Dan Quinn better be careful. Dan Quinn better be careful. Dan Quinn better put some weapons. Dan Quinn and the Commanders better put some weapons around Jaden Daniels sooner than later. Because when you look at the player stats, he is their offense. 24-42. There is no reason that Jaden Daniels should be throwing the ball 42 times. 42 times. He only threw for 200 yards, 2 touchdowns. But then when you look at their doggone backfield, come on, man. Come on, man. Let's be for real. Austin Eckler, come on, man. I'm telling you, we hate the Cowboys. Some people hate the Cowboys so much they think every team is better than us. This is their backfield, and include Jaden Daniels in there because it's obvious that Dan Quinn has made a decision that this man is a part of the running game. Keep doing it. He won't last 3 seasons like this. Jaden Daniels is not Cam Newton size. He's not Dak Prescott size. Jaden Daniels will not last 3 seasons at the rate they're going. He's not going to last 3 seasons. He's going to be, I'm telling you, this dude is going to be broke up if they don't do something better with this team. And one of the things they are going to have to do, come on, man, how you not going to get this dude a running back? Man, we talking about the Cowboys. We look like a Super Bowl team with our running back room compared to this. This is one of the reasons why they can't do anything. Look at the receiving. Come on. Zach Ertz, McLaurin, 5 for 48. Y'all tell me where was McLaurin tonight? Where was he? Where was he? Where was McLaurin tonight? McLaurin ain't even in the same, man, he ain't even in the same hemisphere as a CD Lamb. He's not in the same hemisphere. Deebo Samuel, bona fide running back. Don't care what they say. He's a bona fide running back. He's basically a big part of their run game, short passes, so he can basically run the ball. Luke McCaffrey, he ain't Christian McCaffrey. Noah Brown, come on, man. I'm telling you, I'm very interested to see how this looks when the Cowboys play them. When the Cowboys playing, because I'm telling you, these guys, the defense, they got some names, Dorrance Armstrong, Bobby Wagner. They got some players on there. But for the most part, I mean, I give them credit. They kept Green Bay, they kept them to, 27 points. But I also felt like Green Bay left some, they also left some plays out there on the field. When I look at the Green Bay Packers, let me tell you something. Jordan Love looked real good tonight. He looked real good. 19 to 31, 292, 2 touchdowns. He's not Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott is better than Jordan Love. Now, I'll tell you who I was impressed with, doggone Josh Jacobs. Boy, I got to give him credit on Josh Jacobs. Josh Jacobs looked extremely good. Looked really good. He was 23 of 84, 3.7. I don't think he gets that on the Cowboys team, though. Savion Williams, one of the guys I wish the Cowboys would have got, he looked pretty good tonight. But, Matthew Golden, he was 2 for 15 in the run game. Savion Williams, 2 for 24. Jordan Love, 3 for 12. The passing game, that doggone tight end ate these boys lunch. He had 124 yards of the 292. Man, I am telling you, they had no answer for this tight end. They was making this dude like he was the number 1 overall draft pick in the draft. He looked very good. But I do kind of question when I look at their wide receiver core. I mean, it's good on paper, but you really didn't see it activated tonight because outside of Tucker Kraft, they had to take Dontavion Wicks, 4 for 44, Malik Health, 1 for 37, Luke Musgrave, 2 for 32, Romeo Dobbs, 3 for 28, Chris Brooks, 3 for 27. So, and Matthew Golden, 0 for 0. So, in the grand scheme of things, Tucker Kraft was the offense. Tucker Kraft killed these boys tonight. I was like, man, they must have paid them not to cover. Now, their defense, got to give it to them. Man, they got a very good defense. They got a very good defense. Very good defense. Even without Michael Parsons, very good defense. Great defense with Michael Parsons. But it is obvious. It is still obvious when you look at the Commanders. I mean, when you look at the Packers, they can still be got. They can still be got as long as you can stop them on the ground. I think you got a great chance. And the Commanders, I don't know what happened with the Commanders. Josh Jacobs, like I said, was 23 for 84. That was very good. And then, of course, this tight end Kraft, they ate him up. I don't think you're going to be able to beat the Cowboys like that, but we're going to see how it goes. So I am very excited to see the Cowboys play them in week 4. I think the Cowboys are better than the Commanders. Way, way better. I think the Cowboys are way, way better than the Commanders. I don't even think it's close this year. Yeah, Jared Thomas, Tonsil's body is breaking down. Yeah, Jared, Tonsil ain't been Tonsil in years. Tonsil ain't been Tonsil in years, man. The Commanders are fool's gold, I'm just telling us. DJ Fat said they painting him like he's the difference when they was already good without him. And DJ Fat, everything he's been doing so far, not saying he's not good, but everything he's done so far, it hasn't been the reason. And it's the same stuff that we got to understand that even when he was with the Cowboys, we got those. See, I'm telling us about edge rushers. Edge rushers, you have to be very careful. It's a sexy position because you're lined up outside. The cameras can see you just like a quarterback. They see some of the stuff you do and people get enamored by it. And they're like, yeah, boom, 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 yeah, this, that, and the other. But where the wars are really won is the trenches. The stuff that you're not seeing, the not so sexy stuff you're seeing. And that's the stuff that's winning Super Bowls. At this point, Green Bay has not yet shown us that they're anything better than what they've been. They were already good. And that's the part people aren't realizing. I do think that the Washington Commanders are turning back into a pumpkin, though. Blue Star said, man, didn't he get a sack? Half a sack. They defense ate the quarterback up. The media is just going to keep rubbing Dallas' face with the Dallas made a mistake trading him to the Packers. Yeah, the Cowboy fans are fine. And again, people keep talking about what they look like when he's on the field. Go back and look at what they look like when he's off the field. 3 sacks when he's off the field. 3 sacks off the field. Now, I'm going to tell you something else the Green Bay is doing that I really do like that they're doing, though, with Michael Parsons. I do like how they're kind of moving him around. It's almost like he got to Green Bay and decided he was going to let them coach him. Or they're coaching him and we wouldn't coach him and let him do what he wanted to do. But I do like how Green Bay is moving him around and moving him to the left. They put him in the middle and then let him stunt to the outside rather than just lining up on the outside. They let him do all kinds of little things. I love what they're doing with Michael Parsons. I do think it's going to pay dividends for him. But at the same time, a good offense can dictate to Green Bay what they're going to do. A good offense will be able to do that. And I'm telling us, man, the Cowboys got weapons. The Cowboys got weapons. When you start figuring in, they were literally playing against McLaurin, Samuel, Tebow Samuel, and Noah Brown. Come on, man. Come on. I'm telling us. I truly believe the Cowboys may very well, before it's all said and done, by the end of the season, people are going to be saying that the Dallas Cowboys have the best wide receiver core in football. They're going to be top 5. No receiver they've played is CeeDee Lamb. No receiver they've played is George Pickens. Cavante Turpin. I'm very interested to see what the Cowboys look like because I believe they're going to fit Jonathan Mingo in there. Another big-bodied receiver that can catch those crossing routes, those 5-yard those 5-yard crossing routes, and will be a lot better on those as a bigger wide receiver than even Cavante Turpin and Jalen Tolbert. Those are the routes that you want the bigger receivers on. They can body up those little small cornerbacks, make those catches. I'm telling us, the Cowboys have a very, very good offense that's going to give a lot of teams fits. You watch what I tell you. They're going to give a lot of teams fits. Mason Bartlett said, what do you mean, G? ESPN told me the Commanders. He said, told me the Commanders were one of the best teams in the league. They wouldn't lie and over-exaggerate, would they? Man, these people are so quick to crown people, man. They're so quick to crown people. I don't think we're really going to know what all of this is until around game 5 or 6. But the Green Bay Packers, they benefited. They've been at home. They got 2 opponents. People going to have to understand what this. If you don't think losing your offensive and defensive coordinator is a big deal, you have another thing coming. Man, you coming in trying to change philosophies when you've had 2 offensive and defensive coordinator who's kind of grown up with those players, knows their strengths, knows their weaknesses, knows where to put them in to be successful. And then you get 2 new coordinators come in and they're just now trying to figure out what these guys are. They don't know what to do with them. I'm telling you, man, you can see the look on Dan Campbell's face. Dan Campbell is just frustrated because he's thinking that he may have missed his window. Lil D Texas said, they're acting like Mike is the whole team. The media is terrible. The media is terrible, Lil D. They're acting like he's the reason. They beat these 2 teams without Michael Parsons. I promise you. They beat these 2 teams without Michael Parsons, and they beat them the same way. Let me get this super chat. I didn't see this. Deuce Falco back up in here. Deuce Falco, what up? Deuce Falco said, where we at, G? He said, Rams fan. He said, y'all got Giants next time for y'all to lead the division. Let me tell you, we should be in number 2. We should be in the number 2 position coming up this week. And I'm very interested to see. We talked about it today, Deuce Falco. I'm very interested to see Brian Schottenheimer prepare this team for the Giants. Because this game with the Giants is what people call trap games. I'm not going to call it a trap game. I'm not going to call it a trap game because we got Brian Schottenheimer. I want to see how does he prepare us because he got us up for the Eagles. Mike McCarthy could get us up sometimes for some of the big games. Sometimes. I say sometimes. He never could get us up for the Green Bay Packers. Never could get us up for the Buffalo Bills. Never could get us up for some of the things down the stretch. But I digress. But Brian Schottenheimer got the team up for the Eagles. The true test is to get your team up for a team that they have to be looking at in their common sense saying, we're better than this team. Those are the games you really have to get your team up for. You really have to coach your team. You really have to put them in the mindset of don't sleep on this team. Don't sleep on them. So the Cowboys are going to be a different team. Poor DJ Fett, I know. Oh, man, Eckler tore his Achilles. I know. I saw it. I said, he knew it. He knew it. And it's so crazy to me. He's one of the players that everybody's telling the Cowboys to get. Robert M31, he said Washington couldn't run the ball. Nope. Couldn't run the ball, making their pass game shaky. And Robert, you know what the crazy thing is? They have basically said he's going to be our running back. So you're going to make Jaden Daniels be a part of the running game? I just don't think that's the way you should be using him. I don't think he's built like that. I don't think he's built like that. And I'm telling you, they're going to have this dude. He's going to be done in 3 to 4 seasons if they don't get this kid a running game. He could be dangerous like Jalen Hurts with a run game, but they've turned him into the run game. And it's Jaden Daniels a bust. It's Jaden Daniels a bust. The Big Rumbowski said Washington best days as a Sentinels with Shane Falco as a quarterback are long over. Man, you better say it. The Commanders, I'm telling you, they were fool's gold. That's fool's gold. Let me tell you one of the things they benefited from, and people will never admit it. They benefited from Dak Prescott being injured last year. They benefited from it. They probably don't beat the Cowboys neither time. Neither time. I am very interested to see. I want to take this, of course, one game at a time and enjoy everything that we're going to be seeing. But I'll tell you this. Every time I watch these teams play, all I say is, boy, the Cowboys are better than people think. The Cowboys are good, man. The Cowboys are good. I'm talking offensive line. Even our running back room. I'm sorry. Who won't take Javonte Williams, Miles Sanders, Jaden Blue, and Phil Maffa over everything the Washington Commanders had? Who wouldn't take it? Who won't take that? Man, I'll take the Cowboys running back room every day of the week over what them Commanders are playing with, man. I'm telling us. Now, I'll say this about Green Bay, though. That doggone Jacobs. Shoot. Boy, Josh Jacobs look good. Again, like the way Jordan Love looked a lot better. I like the way he threw the ball tonight. Looking forward to him playing the Cowboys. He looked real good tonight. Green Bay's defense looked good overall, period. With Michael Parsons on the field and without Michael Parsons on the field, their defense looked better. But I still say their defense is going to look different. You watch what I tell you. When they play a team with a power run game, see, they haven't played a team with a power run game so that they can feel the absence of Kenny Clark. See, they're reminding me of the Cowboys, how the Cowboys were with Michael Parsons. We would even look good in some games against the run when there was not teams that could literally come in and pound the rock on us. We look good against those teams. And we were doing all the sexy stuff with the edge rushing with Michael Parsons and the pressures and the quarterback sacks. We were doing all that same stuff with Michael Parsons. But every time we ran up against a team that could pound that rock between the A and the B gaps, that could pound that rock between the tackles, every time we ran up against that team, every time we ran up against a team that could run on the outside, that could run at Michael Parsons, that could run at our edge rushers, what happened? We got the brakes beat off of us. The Green Bay Packers are reminding me of those same teams. Those same teams with us, they won 12 games. Those teams with us got all the way to the number 2 seed. Those teams, they get you to the playoffs. The problem is with those teams, they don't get you very far in the playoffs. They don't. What gets you far in the playoffs is defense travels. And when you got defensive tackles that can clog up that middle and make teams one-dimensional, you don't need big-name pass rushers. I'm telling us, you don't need big-name pass rushers. You don't need big-name pass rushers. What you need is defensive tackles. They dictate a lot of games for you. What's going on, MJ, the legend gaming? He said, had someone ask if I thought the Cowboys are better than the Commanders. Basically saying the Cowboys will end up at 3rd in the division again this year. Never feared the Commanders. Man, we beat them boys last year with Cooper Rush. And almost with Trey Lance. The big Runbowski. He said, in fairness to Washington, these Thursday night games suck if you're the road team. They only had Monday and Tuesday to practice. Wednesday's a travel day. But up against a physical defensive front, Kingsbury offense is always going to struggle. Great point. And Big Runbowski, I think they would have looked a lot sharper with a couple of more days of rest. But I think a part of it too, who do they have? They just don't have no weapons. Them boys don't have no weapons. I'm telling you. They don't have no weapons. They need some weapons. I really felt bad for them. They need some weapons. I think Kingsbury would be better with weapons. He don't have the weapons, man. I can understand why Washington was very reluctant to pay McLaurin. He missed all of training camp. Maybe he'll look better as the season goes on. But, man, the Green Bay Packers clamped him down. Boy, DJ Fat, he said they could use that running back they sent to San Francisco now. Say it. Final Hall. That changes the play calling. You must have talent. Straight up. I think Cliff Kingsbury is better with talent. Who isn't better with talent? Still needs some talent. Man, Corliss Piper, I'm telling you, boy, I already knew Eckler it was an Achilles. I already knew what it was. I knew it was an Achilles. Boy, Corliss, let me tell you something. Boy, it sure would be nice if they called Dallas Cowboys for a trade. Shoot, I'd love it. Call for a trade. Call for a trade. Get Miles Sanders. Whoa. Let me see here. Maureen, what's going on? She said, believe they're better than Washington. Me too. But have a slight predetermined drop below Green Bay now, but let them develop during the season. Maureen, you watch how we look against the Green Bay Packers. They're coming to Dallas this year. Yeah, they're coming to Dallas this year. We're going to be ready. Deuce Falco. I was tripping that Von Miller was playing with the Commanders. I wasn't sure how I felt about that because I just don't know where I really saw him just flashing on the screen. I just didn't see it. I just didn't see it tonight. But again, it's only game 2. It's only game 2. Jeanette Rogers, what's going on? It's only game 2. We got a long night. Got a long night. We'll see. I got a long season. We'll see how it go. Lulu said no one talks about how the Eagles D-line dominated KC in the Super Bowl, but we got no love for what our O-line did, even with Carter out. Yeah, them boys was nasty. And Lulu, let me tell you why. We're going to have to get used to this with the Cowboys. See, the reason why we're going to get used to what we're seeing with the Cowboys is because, again, defensive tackles aren't sexy. They're just not sexy. You don't talk about the defensive tackles until you go back and you start looking at like looking at tape and looking at how they stopped the runs up the middle and pushed everything outside. You don't start looking at that stuff until, that's what I'll say the football people do. They look at that middle. And I'm telling us, shoot, man, we looking pretty. I'm liking how the Cowboys are looking up the middle. I'm telling you, we're going to be thankful for this Kenny Clark trade. We're going to be thankful for this once we get to the playoffs and we see how it pays off. We're going to be thankful because I'm telling you, those defensive tackles, boy, they travel. They travel. Aiden said, no, I'll make the question easy. Green Bay could be the best team in the NFC right now. I disagree. But, you're entitled to that opinion. They are 2-0. I can understand the logic behind it. But I'm telling us, I think the Cowboys, they're gonna cause a lot of teams problems because the Cowboys actually have a talent mix that these teams don't have. Man, the Cowboys got some serious talent. And I'm not just talking about at the skill positions. Man, let me tell y'all again. Cooper Beebe, to show you just how unsexy the middle of the field is. Cooper Beebe has been flawless almost in 2 games, and you're barely hearing anybody talk about him. Why? Because he's doing so good. See, you don't get to see that position, just right there, the cameras on the side view, looking right there at that center. Again, you have to go back and look at the tape on that and go, what did Cooper Beebe do? Oh, he held it down. That's what he did. He held it down. 0 quarterback pressures. Runs up the middle. Runs between the tackles. Cooper Beebe, Tyler Booker, Ty Smith. Them boys wrecking shop up in there. I'm telling you, the middle ain't sexy. But when you go back and start paying attention, that's where teams are winning. That's where teams are winning and going deep in the playoffs. That's where they're winning. I'm telling you, I like where the Cowboys are. I like where they are. And I'm not going to be shocked. I'm not going to be shocked if the Cowboys sign Jadeveon Clowney here pretty soon. All right, guys. The media are not going to let us live. We're just going to have to accept it. The media is not going to let us live as it applies to Michael Parsons. Every time the Green Bay Packers win, they're going to try to rub it in the face of the Cowboys that they're winning with Michael Parsons and what they did with him on the field and blah, blah, blah. But they're never going to talk about what they did with him off the field. And what they did with him off the field was, to me, was even more impressive. Big Rambowski, he said Josh Jacobs was physical. Paul, I'm telling you something, I was impressed. He said he's one of those backs not afraid to make you feel the impact again and again, looking for that knockout blow late in the game. Let me tell you something, that boy looked good. Josh Jacobs looked good, man. He looked good. Yeah, Robert Davis, Scary Terry wasn't so scary against Green Bay. Bro, I'm telling us, man, these dudes are fool's gold. They are fool's gold. Man, Derek G, we play them at home. Thank the good Lord for that. We got him in Dallas. Man, I am so glad. I'm glad. Bam Bam, what's going on? He said physicality wins the NFC. That how it's always been. The best team will be the most physical. Bam Bam gains. This is why I'm riding with Shotty even when I don't agree with him on everything. I'm riding with Shotty simply because he has preached physicality since he hit the door. He has preached physicality since he hit the door. Clayton Adams said we were going to be violent. Matt Eberflus said we were going to be violent. They've been preaching physicality, and they've done that. They did it the first game. It's only the first game. Kenny Clark is going to get even better. Y'all watch what I tell you. Kenny Clark is going to get even better. And by the end of this season, y'all watch how y'all going to be so thankful that we got Kenny Clark. Paul, we're going to be thankful we got this dude. I already told you. Physicality begins in the middle. It begins there, and it permeates out to everywhere else. If your defensive tackles are physical, your edge rushers will pretty much be physical too. Your edge rushers will be physical. Your linebackers, it helps everybody to be physical. They push that line up to where the linebackers can get a clear view of everything that's going on. It makes everybody more physical when your defensive tackles are physical. When your offensive guards and your center are physical, it helps the left tackle and the right tackle to even be more physical. It helps in so many ways. The quarterback gets to step up in the pocket when you have a very physical offensive two offensive guards and a center that's physical. You see what Dak Prescott was doing against what Dak Prescott was doing against the Eagles? He was stepping up in the middle, sliding a little bit to the left. He wasn't trying to get outside as much as he was just stepping up into that pocket, that comfort zone, because he's got a very physical, that I call it the triangle, BB, Smith, Booker. Man, I'm telling you, physicality begins up front. Those tackles on defense, the guard and the center on offense. I love what we have. I love what we have. Aiden Bowe. He said the Eagles secondary proved that being half decent will stop CD and Pickens. It didn't happen. Because they didn't stop CD and Pickens. It didn't happen. They didn't stop him. Pickens dropped passes. CeeDee Lamb dropped 4 passes. He stopped himself. He stopped himself. And the Cowboys, one of the mistakes they made is that they didn't target Pickens enough. The Cowboys just kind of used him as a decoy the first game. You watch what happens the second game, Aiden. You watch what I tell you. You watch what happened the second game. I bet you the Cowboys blow them off the field next game. I bet you they blow them off the field. Once the Cowboys get going, I'm telling you, the Cowboys are going to be a problem for everybody. We got to understand, that was the first game that offense had played together. What do you think they're going to look like after game 4, 5, and 6? Cowboys will be a problem. They will be a top 5 offense in the NFL, not the NFC, the NFL. The Cowboys are going to be an absolute problem. Because when you look at these teams, what neutralizes these teams that got these defenses is weapons. It's your physicality in the middle. The Cowboys are a very physical team. They got exactly what they wanted. Physicality between the tackles. They got it. The Cowboys got it. Y'all watch what I tell you. They got it. They got something they haven't had in years. Physicality up the middle. Two great, not good, 2 great defensive tackles. Also, Diggy and Kenny Clark together are great. 2 offensive guards, Booker and Smith, and Cooper Beebe. The man just brings his lunch kit and his thermos to work, and he go to work. I'm telling you, the students, man, I'm telling you, the Cowboys, they have a team that's built to win. Hallelujah said, true, G, we aren't going to know who any of these teams truly are until week 6. That's it. And when I look at the trajectory of the Cowboys and what I see the Cowboys doing, I'm telling y'all, boy, y'all are going to be pleasantly surprised. Pleasantly surprised at how good this team is. By the time we start hitting the mid part of that schedule, everybody better watch out. Boy, Q-Ball, what? Mike Fisher said the Commanders have a better roster. Man, Fish better go back and rethink that. Fish better rethink that, Q-Ball. I didn't think that before I even saw this game tonight. Shoo. What's going on, Mr. Get Dirty? Good to see you. Blue Star said, anybody seen Micah new podcast episode? I haven't. No. Oh, wait, he's no longer doing it. I'm all football. This man is snaking a liar, and I cannot wait for week 4. Man, let me tell you something. It's going to be great. It's going to be great. Katharina Kiss said, right, Brent, he also said he didn't like the culture as well after the game. Mike is a two-faced and a liar. I don't understand. Let me tell you something. Y'all better hear me when you hear me. Micah Parsons, it would not shock me if somebody in the Cowboys locker room is saying things that the Cowboy players may have said or saying about Michael Parsons. Because I find it to be strange that they quoted Michael Parsons, and I'm like, what is he talking about? He said it is good to be on a team where the team appreciates your talents. He didn't say the front office. If y'all have not been catching it, Michael Parsons isn't taking shots at the Dallas Cowboys front office. He's taking shots at the Cowboys team. He's talking about players. And I'm going to tell you what ticked him off. It's simple to me what ticked him off. What ticked him off is when Jerry Jones said it was unanimous. It was unanimous to trade him. He understood that to mean exactly what it sounds like. The front office, the coaching staff, and the players on the leadership council. I think that's what he's referring to. But he's going to find out something. You don't want to be playing hot-headed. You got to play under control. You really do. Charles Washington, yeah, he's a great addition. I agree with you. He's not the primary player. Charles, and that's the part people don't understand. Shoot, if I'm the doggone Dallas Cowboys, boy, I wish the Cowboys, let me tell y'all something. I don't understand why the Cowboys didn't tell the Green Bay Packers, not only do we want 2 number ones, we want Kenny Clark and, did anybody catch Vanessa? Vanessa is the player that Michael Parsons is taking his spot. Shoo. I don't know what the Cowboys, boy, they should have been a little bit more hard-nosed on this thing. No, they gave me Vanessa. That dude right there is a baller. Boy, I'd love to have him, man. I would love to have him. That dude Vanessa can ball, man. Poobie D up in this thing. He said the players played zone the whole game and never lost lane assignments. Poobie D. And, you know, it's strange. You can do that when, boy, I'm just telling you, them Washington Commanders they just don't have a squad, man. And one thing that they don't have is a run game. And, of course, Eckler going out with an Achilles didn't help none either. They just don't have the squad, man. Terrence Washington said, I told everyone Washington was going to take a step back. Remember, RG3, anyone? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We said the same thing. We had seen it before. We keep seeing quarterbacks that come in. They have these great rookie seasons. And then everybody catch up with him and it's different. Church, man, I'm telling you, I've noticed his brother is still talking about the Cowboys. Poobie D said the Packers got better inside run game than us. Parsons got Gary on the other side, and their defensive tackles maybe play better than ours with Micah. Don't think so. Poobie D, I don't think so. Man, I want all of us to think about this. We saw Kenny Clark in 1 week. 1 week. That's it, 1 week. Wait until this dude really get in there and get this playbook and all the stuff down. Just wait. Kenny Clark and also Diggy Zua are going to be stupid dumb. I mean stupid dumb in this thing. And I'm telling you, when you get in the playoffs, you watch what I tell you. We're going to be thankful for these defensive tackles because about mid-season, you watch what our edge rush game look like. They got to kind of get themselves together. I think they also got to get used to, I think they got to be more patient, Poobie D. I think what we saw against the Eagles, and let's keep remembering it's the Eagles. Right now, the Eagles, just because of the record, is the best team in the NFC. But if the Cowboys beat the Eagles, everybody would be saying it's the Cowboys. I still say the Cowboys is probably I don't want to go too high, but I still say that the Cowboys are probably the 3rd or 4th best team in the NFC without just looking and just breaking it all down. But the Cowboys, you just watch what I tell you, man. The Cowboys, as they keep ramping up, the Cowboys are going to be one of them teams. All right, let's get to this thing. We talked about the Green Bay Packers enough. Michael Parsons enough. I'm excited for the Cowboys to play both of these teams, and I know y'all are too, just based on what we're saying. So now I want to get to Reddy Stewart. Didn't get a chance to listen to his interview today, but a lot of people. Oh, okay. You said when we had Michael, not now, not when we had Michael, not now. G, gotcha. Okay, I feel you. Yeah. Again, the Cowboys gonna be. Y'all watch what tell the Cowboys gonna be nice. Oh, let's get to Reddy Stewart. It's only a 2-minute interview, but I want to hear this thing from Reddy Stewart because Reddy Stewart looks like he's going to be poised to take the Ron Bland spot, and then we're going to move to Jadeveon Clowney. But I definitely want to hear from Reddy Stewart and see what he has to say about. I'm sure that he is going to be starting this week. Let's check out Reddy Stewart.
Just hoping that my guy got a quick recovery and stuff like that. But I mean, I got to be the next man up. And
Reddy Stewart looks like a high school kid, though.
Ready to play and stuff.
Now,
All right, let's get it in.
injury happened, and then now just kind of take day by day.
Just hoping that my guy got a quick recovery and stuff like that. But I mean, I got to be the next man up. And just getting acclimated to the playbook and ready to play and stuff like that. So, I mean, it's just football.
What's kind of the emotions been going from being left off the roster in Chicago, being brought here, and then now starting potentially here in week 2? It's all been pretty quick. What's kind of your emotions been doing?
I mean, I just been staying grounded and staying working for real. I mean, I know that I can play, so that really wasn't on my mind at all. But just keeping my trust in God and just keep working. That's all I've been thinking about. Yeah.
Can you, again, just kind of expand about your journey and just what it would mean to get this moment?
I mean, yeah, so last year in Chicago, I was on practice squad. And then, boom, I left there and went to Minnesota, played there, throughout training camp and stuff. They let me go, and then I got picked up on waivers by the Cowboys. So, I mean, I feel like my journey just been going up and down, you feel me? So, I mean, it's really a blessing that I'm going to play right now, and I'm going to be ready for it. So, that ain't, I'm ready to just ball.
What can you take from that one game you did play and build upon with that experience for this week?
I mean, that was a whole year ago, so just keep doing what I'm doing. I mean, I know there's plays out there to be made and stuff like that, but this is a whole new season, whole new system and stuff like that, so I'm just going to, do my job and go out there and do what I do.
How comfortable do you feel in this system, given you were with Matt Eberflus in Chicago for a little bit?
I mean, I feel like I'm at home back again, in his defense, playing fast and playing physical and stuff like that, and he trusts me and I trust him, so I'm glad to be here.
What's the story behind getting the name Reddy?
Say what?
What's the story behind the name Reddy?
I mean, it's just a name my mom and dad came up with since birth, so they called me that. I've just been going along with it. That's what everybody called me. So
yeah. Makes you a good nickel.
I'm physical. I can cover. I'm smart. Communicating with K9 and these linebackers and stuff like that. Just being on the same page with my new teammates. I feel like that'll help me play fast this week and stuff like that. So I feel like that's gonna help me.
What sort of challenges does Malik Neighbors present?
He's talented for sure. Everybody know that. They know who he is, and I mean, we're talented too. So we're just gonna go out there and ball and do our jobs. It's gonna be a fun day.
You just talk about the importance of having a bounce back.
I think it'll be fine for Reddy Stewart. And the reason why I think it's going to be fine for Reddy Stewart is that we're playing the New York Giants. The New York Giants, they are all defensive line and nothing beyond that. Neighbors doesn't have the quarterback to make him the wide receiver that we believe that he is. So the Cowboys should actually be able to handle up on, and again, it's not going to be necessarily easy in the beginning as it applies to the New York Giants, because it is going to be a divisional game. But I think once everything settles down, when it's all said and done, I just don't think they have enough for the Cowboys. I don't think the New York Giants have enough for the Cowboys. I'm telling y'all, the Cowboys, as this season goes on, they're going to be a problem for not 1 or 2, not 3 or 4, not even 9 or 10. They are going to be a problem for every team they face, because the Cowboys pose a serious problem once this team gets George Pickens acclimated. We saw a game last week to where George Pickens wasn't even acclimated into the game. They're going to be intentional this week to get George Pickens the ball. even though CD Lamb is going to have a bounce back game, they're going to be very intentional about getting him the ball. And that's just going to open up the offense even more. And I think Dak Prescott is going to get even better than he was against the Eagles. That was his first game since what, November of 2024? Dak Prescott's going to be even better as time goes on. But again, this Reddy Stewart kid, I think he'll be good. I think this is a good game to come in. It's the Giants. I mean, I just don't think Russell Wilson is going to pose much of a threat to the Cowboys. I think that he's not going to be able to do all the running that Jalen Hurts did, even though I think he'll do some. I'm also expecting Matt Eberflus to be smarter this week. I think he'll have Maurice Leofau with more snaps. I think he'll also have him spying out the quarterback this week. I don't think they'll be that dumb again. So I think the Cowboys are going to utilize they're going to utilize Maurice Leofau to neutralize any of them that may try to run, because they're saying that they may put in Jackson Dart. I'm struggling with Jackson Dart. And the reason why I'm struggling with Jackson Dart is because they may not let him play, because I'm telling you, man, the New York Giants offensive line is in shambles. And I'm not sure you really want him out there with the way the Cowboys are going to play this week. Shoot, you watch what I tell you. You watch what I tell you. Shoot, man, them boys going to be ready to go this week. They're going to be ready to go this week. Last week, they kind of saw some things and where they need to make some improvements. I'm pretty sure the Cowboys will go more to scheming pressure, more with those cornerback blitzes, those safety blitzes. We'll see more of those earlier this week than we did last week. We'll see more of those early, so we'll see what happens. But the New York Giants, this is a big game. This is a big, big game. And if I'm Brian Schottenheimer, this is exactly how I'm explaining this. This is a big game. Brian Schottenheimer's first win. Brian Schottenheimer's first home game as a head coach. The Dallas Cowboys were 2-7 last year at home. The Dallas Cowboys need to win because these are the kinds of games the Cowboys used to lose. Every time the Cowboys would get in a position to make a move, it's like it always happened, no matter how good our record was. It was like every time we were in position, like, hey, if we win this game, we move up to this position. We can move ourselves into pole position. We would just fall flat on our face and lose those games. This is the game. I mean, Brian has got to really emphasize this game, and I'm sure he is. This is a big game. Every game this season for the Cowboys is going to be big, but this is big, big. It's easier to me to get up for the games like the Eagles because you want to prove something. Everybody said you shouldn't win. You're playing with house money. You out there just playing free, and you out there like, man, we're going to smack and do whatever we need to do. And then you come in them games where everybody says, man, if you don't win this, you ought to win this. You ought to beat them by 3 touchdowns. Then you start getting a big head. And then these are the kind of games you lose. Let's see. I am very interested to see how does he get them ready for this game. How do you get them ready? Because the Giants, man, let me tell you something. If this Washington Commanders team, because at first I was wondering, why did the Washington Commanders only score 21 points? But now that I'm looking at this Washington Commanders team, if this Washington Commanders team scored 21 points on the Giants, scored 21 points on the Giants, then how much should we score? How much should we score? With better weapons and a better run game and a better quarterback. How much should we score? So this is a very, very important game. And I'm sure, again, Brian is talking it up like this. Because I'm telling you, I'm not letting people come in my house and start drinking orange juice out of the refrigerator with drinking orange juice out of the refrigerator straight from the bottle. No, you're not going to come in here and do that to me. No, you're not doing that in my house. You're going to come into my house, sit your butt down somewhere. I'm telling us, the Cowboys have got to really make a statement in this game that, hey, man, ain't nobody coming up in here no more. Ain't nobody coming up in here again and beating us. Because Cowboys may very well get an opportunity that they're going to get another opportunity to have. The Cowboys could easily be. The Cowboys will be one of the top 4 seeds in the NFC this year, I believe. I do believe they're going to be one of the top 4 seeds in the NFC. So they're going to at least get 1 home game. Could possibly work themselves into 2 home games. They got to establish themselves in their house again. They have to establish themselves in their house again. So we'll see. RKTV, he said, whose fault is it we don't have no chemistry on offense? We didn't play any in the preseason, but that's okay. They still look good. They still look good enough. So we got what we got last week. It'll only get better this week. And by the time we see the Green Bay Packers, we should be at full speed. I think we'll know exactly what we need to do. I think we'll know what works, what don't work. I think we'll understand our combinations on defense as far as the linebackers, because I think we were struggling trying to figure out, okay, what's going to be our linebacker combination, what's going to be our edge rusher combination, what's the combination of edge rusher and linebacker together. I think we were trying to figure all that out. We were also trying to figure out I think we did figure out the cornerback situation. I think it worked out pretty good. Deron Bland is a tiny setback, but again, it is the Giants. And I still think we can hold our own against the Chicago Bears because, like I said, Caleb Williams is either deadly accurate or he's throwing the ball in the doggone stadium. I mean, throwing it in the stands. And I think Matt Eberflus is going to have something to say about the Chicago Bears. I think he's going to be ready for them boys. I think he's going to be ready for them doggone Chicago Bears. He's going to have something for them. You watch what I tell you. So by the time we play the Green Bay Packers, we should be on all 4. We should be on all 8 cylinders. We're not no doggone 4-cylinder. We're going to be on all 8 cylinders. Yeah, okay, I think Dak Prescott is going to have an MVP year. I think this is an MVP year for Dak Prescott. Once they get this team clicking on all 8 cylinders, which I think will be around game 4, and especially it'll probably peak around game 6, the Cowboys are going to be a problem. And I still don't think the Cowboys are done. I still don't think the Cowboys are done. There are some moves that are not going to surprise me about the Cowboys. I will not be surprised, depending upon what Jaden Blue looks like. I will not be surprised if the Cowboys could decide to go get a running back around week 6 somewhere as we get closer to the trade deadline. I also would not be surprised if Jadeveon Clowney is signed tomorrow or Saturday. Again, and we're going to talk about Jadeveon Clowney. We're going to move on to him next. But again, Reddy Stewart should be good for us. Should be good for us, just for the next couple of games, and then we'll get Deron Bland. We'll get Deron Bland back on the field. Brian Worley said Parsons is just a crybaby. Man, let me tell you something. This dude, man, I'm just telling you that they really thought. I think they thought that Jerry was going to really just do what Jerry always does. I just really think they thought Jerry was going to lay over and just say, we're going to give you what you want, and Jerry didn't, and now his feelings is hurt. So, not sweating it. Not sweating it. The Cowboys are going to be great. All right, let's move on to Jadeveon Clowney. Let's move on to this story about Jadeveon Clowney. I'm thinking that there's a discussion about this on 105.3 The Fan. Let's make sure. See. I want to see if that is over here. Because it sounds like what transpired is a lot of people were trying to blame Dak Prescott. They were trying to blame Jerry Jones for being cheap. And the Cowboys didn't want to pay Jadeveon Clowney. That doesn't seem like to be the case. That doesn't seem to be the case. What does seem to be the case is it was Jadeveon Clowney who decided that he wanted to wait. The Cowboys were actually ready to sign Jadeveon Clowney. This is according to Brian Broaddus. Let me see. I want to see where's the discussion where he talked about this. Let's see. And I'm thinking maybe Brian Broaddus previews the New York Giants offense. Maybe this is where he talked about it. So let's see where he previews the offense, and let's see if this is where he talks about it.
And this is going to come down to an offensive line that's not very good. And that's kind of where it's at. And if the Cowboys can figure out a way okay, let me put it this way. Last week you were dealing with.
Okay, let me see. What we'll do here, we'll talk Giants. We'll go ahead and talk Giants. We'll go ahead and talk Giants right here. Cowboys and Giants, even if this isn't the spot. And if not, I know where the quote is. Hold on, I know where the quote is, and I'll go get the quote so we can look at it if we can't find the video clip. But maybe it's here that he's talking about Jadeveon Clowney inside of the Giants preview. And so we'll kind of comment on that too, as we're going to get very deep into our preview tomorrow of the Giants versus the Cowboys. Let's listen to Brian Broaddus.
Like all Pro Bowl type players kind of across the board there for the Philadelphia Eagles. And you're thinking like, okay, we'll go after Tyler Steen here. That would be the guy that you attack. You really can, with no Andrew Thomas. And I was talking to some folks at the Giants today. He didn't practice, so likely not to play. They're going to try the whole ramp-up period and all that. They're trying to get him ready, but my guys are saying if he didn't practice today, we'll see what happens the next couple of days. But their indications were that he's probably not going to play. So he is the starting left tackle, but James Hudson is having to play for him at the left tackle spot. But it's really going to be kind of like, who would you like to attack? I feel like, though, the center, John Michael Schmitz, is the way to go here. And I feel like you can do it with our guy Clark. I think that Kenny Clark, he's the problem that John Michael Schmitz has as a center is he's a little bit undersized. He doesn't handle power very well. And if you attack his snap hand, and I mean his right hand, he has a hard time controlling somebody with his left and then getting the right hand up fast enough to be able to. So you'll see people kind of wear him out on the right side of his body because he can't handle the power.
I saw media already saying they're going to need to find a new center after this season.
Yeah, it's been a struggle. He's a good athlete, but he just does not play with much power, and he struggles with people. I would try and match him up as one-on-one as much as you can with somebody. Don't let him be uncovered. There was a couple of times where the Commanders left him, and that way he could slide over and help and do those things. Make this guy have to play in this football game. That would be your center, John Michael Schmitz, and they need to put somebody over him and just wear him out in this football game, especially in passing situations.
Kenny Clark.
When you look at the I think the running game here, Chief talked about it. I think Tyrone Tracy is a good player. I think he's a good back. I wouldn't be surprised this week if you see more Cam Scatterbo. And that's the rookie from Arizona State.
Yeah, I heard
Third on the
that
depth
too.
chart right now behind Singletary, right?
Singletary. It's Tracy and Singletary. And they put Scatterbo in the game against the Commanders, and they used him as a receiver. They used him on the outside. But Chief was talking about it. There is like contact at the line of scrimmage, behind the line of scrimmage. The Giants just get absolutely no push with their front, even with the blocks, the combo blocks. We saw some Dallas, with Dallas and the way they were blocking Philadelphia, those combo blocks, they're moving guys, they're turning guys, they're getting, they're giving their backs opportunity to get up the field. The Giants don't do that. And really, it kind of falls on Tracy. They hand him the ball, and then there's just nowhere to go. But I wouldn't be surprised if we were to see more Cam Scatterbo, just because he can make guys miss a little bit easier, I think, if they're not blocking well, and he can also run through arm tackles. So you got to make sure that I thought the Commanders did a really nice job of attacking the line of scrimmage, playing in the gaps, and then getting their guys on the ground when they had the opportunity. Russell Wilson is a quarterback. He used to be one of the best off-platform throwers. When your feet aren't set and you're kind of moving, you're kind of backing up and then you're throwing the ball down the field. He's lost that ability.
Yeah, he can't do that no more.
He's lost the ability to
Yeah, he can't do that.
Make those throws where he's a little off balance, he's throwing off the back foot. But there's some the thing that, and I remember asking Rod Marinelli about this when you played Russell Wilson back in the day in Seattle. And I think Matt Eberflus is going to try and do the same thing because Matt worked with Rod. He was here for those Seattle games, so he kind of understands how to play this guy. You got to make him play in the well. You got to make him back up and play backwards. Make him, because he's a shorter guy, make him have to throw over the top of the defense. I mean, throw over the top of the defensive line. Pressure in his face is hard for him to deal with.
Looked like he just laid down a couple of times.
This is where Kenny Clark and Osa Odigizua getting up the field on an older Russell Wilson. This ain't let Russ cook no more. Y'all do. This is not let Russ cook no more. We're dealing with microwave Russ now. We're dealing with air fryer Russ now. We're not dealing with let Russ cook on a gas stove. We talk about a whole different Russell Wilson now. The Cowboys with this pass rush up the middle, especially on a shorter quarterback like Russell Wilson, it's gonna be a problem.
Against Washington,
there was a time
I got nothing here.
They brought a blitz on the outside, and he was trying to throw it out, and he just thought he was going to get hit, and he crumpled. He threw it sidearm, and it was short. They did not. He's not going to throw intermediate balls, like that 10 to 15 yard pass.
Yeah.
He's not going to throw it in the middle of the field. He just can't see to make those throws. And they've got a couple of receivers when you talk about with Neighbors and Slayton. Wan'Dale Robinson's kind of their third down guy when he comes in, but they'll put him in the backfield and run him in these routes stuff. But everything in that Commanders game was kind of outside the numbers. Very rarely was there any throws that were going down the field. So it's pressuring.
I'm telling y'all, do not be surprised. Cowboys 2 or 3 turnovers this week. Won't be surprised if Trayvon Diggs get himself an interception. Will not be surprised if Trayvon Diggs get himself an interception. Will not be surprised. This dude try to go outside the numbers on Diggs, it'll probably be a problem. But I'm telling you, he's not the same. He's not the same. Daniel Live, my white-haired man, what up with you? Not the same. I'm telling you, this dude is not the same. Now let's keep rocking with Brian Broaddus. He cooking. I'm definitely liking some of the stuff he's talking about with the Giants.
His face, but you got to be mindful of he's the quality thing that he can do is he could get small in the pocket and then kind of find a way to run through the middle of the pocket.
Yeah.
You're not going to get him on the outside. He tried to score on a play, a scramble to the outside, got whacked, fumbled the ball. They almost lost the ball and they're going in on the Commander 3-yard line, but he recovered the ball. But where you've got to, when you get him trapped in the pocket, you've got to make sure you wrap him up. You just can't let him slide forward, get small, hit the gap, and then run on you that way. The question you have to ask yourself, and I've been asking to people all day, if they didn't spy Jalen Hurts, are they going to spy this guy?
No way.
No way. There's no way that happens. So, let's see. But you saw.
I hope
he
they
can't
do.
really crush you with his legs anymore.
He can run. He runs well enough to extend a play. But like I was telling you, if you make him play where he's not going forward, if he's going backwards, that's where he just can't make those throws that he once did. He'd go backwards and throw that moon ball, and it would, get down the field and somebody would make a miraculous catch. He just doesn't have that ability anymore.
Kenny Clark,
to me,
also
I just
sacks this week.
It's going to be about like Clark, others, middle of the pocket, John Michael Schmitz attacking him. Make sure that Russell Wilson keep the eye level down on him and then squeeze it, but don't let him escape. He's not going to run around the edge. He's going to escape through the middle. That's your best chance, really. This offense, they don't get enough movement in the running game. Their main weapons are Malik Neighbors, who is one of the smoothest route runners you'll ever see. I mean, and they'll bring him in motion. They'll try and run picks for him, try and get him to, give him some space. Him, Wan'Dale Robinson, those are the guys you're going to kind of have to worry about.
Does Robinson have enough to punish you if you're playing Elam or Reddy?
I think
because Bland's out.
Yeah, I think with Robinson, they're going to line him up in the backfield. They're going to put him like in bunch formation. They're going to play him in the slot. They're going to play Neighbors in the slot. If if it's a situation, yeah, they're in a little bit of a bind right now because without Bland to play the nickel, who is going to be that guy? Because you're going to get Elam, you're going to get Diggs, and now who is your nickel? It's probably going to be, you're right, it's probably going to be Stewart playing the nickel spot, but he's a quick guy, but can he stay with? That's the thing that, that's the game. Can he hang with running with Robinson? Can he hang with Neighbors? If I'm the Giants, I put Neighbors in the slot and try and keep him away from
Diggs.
Yeah, but what you might see, though, if Elam playing in this game and the Giants kind of realizing that, the one big pass play, what happened? The Eagles ran the two verticals, and then they held Hooker in the middle of the field and then got Elam one-on-one on the inside, and that's where Dotson made the big long play. So maybe if they're going to try and hit on some deep balls, it would be if Elam now having to start for Bland in this game.
Is it a must double Neighbors situation?
I think that, to me, you've got to be very mindful where Neighbors is. But I think your pressure is going to be good enough in this game to be able to affect. I think Russell Wilson's going to try and get the ball out as quickly as possible in this game. And this is even without a Michael Parsons in the game. But
yeah, he's not
Dallas
Jalen
can
Hurts.
attack, like I say, a couple different spots. The John Michael Smiths. They could also attack Jermaine Elamanior. They could attack him. He's a guy that's got a good pass set, but he gets carried back into the pocket. Both these tackles just get carried back to the quarterback. And so that's where it's going to have to come down for the Cowboys. The ball's going to come out quick. If they're going to play a lot of zone coverage, I think they probably will. We saw a lot of zone last week. So, that's probably, a little bit more of the MO with Eberflus wants to play a little bit more zone, and especially with no Bland in the game. That might be something else he's probably interested in doing.
Right on, Brian.
Thank you.
All right, so we didn't get him talking about it there, but if not, I got the article here. Brian Broaddus talked about this. What happened with Jadeveon Clowney? And I'm thinking there had to be an interview on this or something, but maybe we'll run it across later. But this is the issue here. Says here, insider reveals why Cowboys didn't sign Jadeveon Clowney. Says here, veteran free agent defender Jadeveon Clowney took a visit with the Dallas Cowboys on Wednesday. Got everybody excited. No deal has been signed yet, which raised some eyebrows as the Cowboys need some pass rush help, and Clowney is still looking for his next team. Now, thanks to the Cowboys insider Brian Broaddus, we have some details on why the signing isn't official yet. Per Broaddus, Dallas was ready to sign on the dotted line, but Clowney would rather wait and explore his options. See, a lot of people, man, they just throw the Cowboys under the bus like they were not trying to get this deal done. No, the Cowboys were trying to get this deal done. Jadeveon Clowney is the one, and is the reason why they didn't get this deal done. Jadeveon Clowney, for whatever reason, wants to kind of, I guess he basically wants to, and I'm not mad at him, it's a football business. Jadeveon Clowney is wanting to look around and see if there's anybody else interested in him. And y'all already know how this goes, and hopefully it won't go like this, but y'all know how this goes. The Cowboys start looking at somebody and other teams' interest peak, and then they'll try to come in and outbid the Dallas Cowboys. So the Cowboys, they probably have a price they have already offered him. And we don't even know if it's a lowball price, but if the Cowboys are ready to sign, the Cowboys have obviously offered him a certain amount of money. And whatever that amount of money is, either he doesn't like it, or now that teams have heard the Cowboys are interested, Maybe he's waiting to see if the phone rings from someone else. And let's see that, and maybe he wants to hold out and see if there's an injury this week where somebody needs an edge rusher. Maybe they'll give him a call. But again, it wasn't the Cowboys. It says the Cowboys wanted to sign Clowney. They absolutely did. Clowney's the one who made this decision. He said he would like to wait, Broader said on Thursday. Yeah, the intent was to sign him. Clowney is the one who decided that he would like to wait before that happens, he added. So we'll see. We'll see. I think the Cowboys still can sign Jadeveon Clowney. I saw over on X, Mike Fisher made it very clear the Cowboys are very, very interested in signing one Jadeveon Clowney. It's Jadeveon Clowney, and so nothing has come out about the money. So, it's not a whole lot we can say there. It's not a whole lot we can say there about the money. But as it seems right now, I don't know if it was necessarily the money. As much as it was, maybe he just wants to see. Let me see here. There's another conversation over here, but I don't think that is about Clowney. Yeah, I don't think that's about Clowney. But again, at this point, it is what it is. Let me see. How long is this in? Y'all hold just a second. Let's
do this here. C-Note, Cowboys news of the evening. Joseph Hoyt talking about the Perry and Winfrey injury, by the way, that just broke over the last hour or so. He's going to be on IR with back trouble. Hoyt writes, it opens up a roster spot, potentially also opening the door for Mozzie Smith to return into the fold. Smith inactive for the season.
Yeah, I don't think that's it either. But again, it is Jadeveon Clowney that did not want to sign with the Cowboys yet. He doesn't want to sign with the Cowboys yet, whatever that means. And again, I'm just speculating on this part, but I do think that some of this it's a football business. It's a football business. Maybe he holds out and see if there are some other teams that'll call him, or maybe he holds out and see if the Cowboys, if they really want to sign him, maybe they call him back and they up their offer. So there are so many things that could go into this, but nevertheless, I say that if the Cowboys are ready to sign him, they were obviously ready to offer him some money. They were obviously ready to offer him some money. There's no way they're going to pay him. I mean, they're going to say they want him.
Let's not forget that I am hot.
There's no way they're going to say that they want him and they're not prepared to pay him. And again, like I said, Mike Fisher is reporting the Cowboys are still very, very much interested in him. So we'll see how that turns out. All right, so next section here. Let's get down here to Clayton Adams. I think Clayton Adams deserves a little bit of our attention and time. Man, the Cowboys, for all intents and purposes, the Cowboys ran the runs with Javonte Williams, violent. The Cowboys run game was violent. I think what the Cowboys run game is missing right now, though, and this is why I'm so anxious to see Jaden Blue. Hope he gets the playbook down and whatever else is going on with him. I want Jaden Blue to get his opportunity because I believe he's that running back for us that we need to have that pop. Javonte Williams is a power back, but he doesn't have that pop to where he can pop those long runs. And not only pop those long runs, but don't get caught like Miles Sanders did. So that is one of the reasons why I am so interested to see what is Jaden Blue going to be for us. But let's go ahead and check out Clayton Adams. And I am sorry, but Clayton Adams is one of the most intense looking people I've ever seen. I mean, having a conversation with this dude, and you know how you make eye contact with people? Look at this dude. This dude looks intense when he looks at you. It's like he burning your body up when he's looking at you.
Dallas Morning News. Your thoughts on how you think the run game operated in that first game against Philly?
I would say there were moments where we kind of looked like we knew what we were doing. there's some moments where, we'd like to build on what was happening, and then ultimately when we needed to run the ball to win the game, we couldn't do that, and that was pretty disappointing at the end. So there was, just like from a teaching perspective, there's a ton of great stuff on the tape where you go, all right, well, we need to make sure this doesn't happen again, or we can build off of what's happening here. In regards to the guys knowing what they're supposed to do, I was pleased with that, but we just need to execute a little bit better.
Guys up front, young guys with Booker, and then obviously he's played before. How do you think they fared in the run game?
I think that just in terms of the environment and some of the things that we were asking them to do for the first time, really in kind of a live setting, because for really a lot of our live settings throughout the offseason, there's always that coach in the back of your mind that's like, I don't want to put any of this stuff on tape. But I was encouraged by it. I think it's one of those situations you look at and you go like, all right, we see flashes of what we want to be when we grow up, but we're a long ways from where we want to be.
Clayton Todd, our show at ESPN. Last week you faced a good front. This week another good front. Washington has a decent front. How much is it just an every week thing that you have to get used to when you're going against teams in the league?
Yeah, I think it's really the entire league. I think is there even. I learned early the first couple of years that I was coaching in the NFL that watching the injury report as a coach is probably the dumbest thing you can do, because you go, oh, well, this guy's not playing, and then the guy that comes in after that kind of whips your butt. So these guys are all NFL football players. Obviously, there's outliers and there's guys that are truly special, but you're not going to go against guys in the NFL that just aren't any good.
We asked you before about sitting up in the press box or in the coach's booth watching the games. Are you still getting used to that, and is it hard not to get your hands on a guy in between series, or I know you can talk to them, but it may be different face to face?
Yeah, I'm still getting used to it. I think that it's definitely the best place for me based on the way that our staff is set up, and I know that I can help Shotty the best for my role from that vantage point, and so. That's why I think it's a really good thing that I need to continue to improve and get better at. But yeah, the piece that is hardest for me is there's times I think between a series where you can look a guy in the eyes and go, yeah, he ain't telling me the truth, or hey, we need to keep running the ball here because these dudes are really feeling it. And so that's the part that I'm trying to get used to, is gauging that from that perspective and that vantage point.
Prediction. This will be one of the first coaches plucked from the Dallas Cowboys. I absolutely believe Clayton Adams will be one of the first coaches to be plucked from the Dallas Cowboys. There is no way that you can have the kind of effect that this guy has when he's on teams, especially when it comes to run games. Next has got to see what's going to happen. I won't be surprised if there is a time where, if it doesn't happen here, whoever plucks him is going to give him the opportunity to actually be the play caller. Prediction. This is the first coach that's going to be plucked from the Dallas Cowboys. I could see it happening as early as next year. This dude's the real deal. Clayton Adams is the real deal. Knows this game and is very passionate and serious about it. And I'm telling you, he's going to be first one gone. First one gone.
John Machota with The Athletic. Brian talked about you having a great sense of humor, and I was wondering, where do you show that most? Is it on the practice field, in meetings?
I don't know. Probably is I try to be myself all the time. It's probably it wouldn't be appropriate for me to be truly who I am, or like in this setting right here. But like they sound like Sorensen almost did in the last interview. But yeah, I don't know. I tried not to put any barriers on who I am and just try to be who I am all the time. And so sometimes that's in meetings, sometimes that's on the practice field, sometimes that's in the meeting room.
And then first game, Dak Prescott looked like he played pretty well. What did you think?
Yeah, I really thought he did a ton of good things. It's awesome just to have a guy that can handle so much in regards to scheme and protections and reads and really feeling the ebbs and flows of the game and supporting guys if he feels like they're not, performing or whatever. I mean, the guy's an incredible leader, and I really look forward to more opportunities to watch him play.
Joe Hoyt, Dallas Morning News. Kind of on that note, Dak showed some mobility and kind of escaping the pocket a little bit when pressure came. How much of that for a quarterback is having some synchronicity with the offensive line and kind of knowing maybe where they're kind of pushing guys out or hey, this guy is going up against this pass rusher, he might beat him here. How much is kind of the relationship between those two?
Well, I think that there's some of that for sure. Those guys have so much going on in regards to just making sure that bodies are on bodies and then trying to figure out where he's going to start his progression based on what's happening coverage-wise. I think that one of the things that an experienced player and then also just kind of a special type of player like Dak understands is where are the soft spots in this protection, and how is the team that we're playing going to challenge us? Because we're always, as coaches, going to try to find a way to all right, the soft spot in this protection is here, but our matchup issue in the protection is here, because those two can be different, right? Schematics and versus where your matchup issues are. He does a pretty good job during the week of understanding both of those two things, and so I think, especially as you get more comfortable with certain action protections, you know where the weaknesses are, and he certainly does.
And then you were known for variation in the run games in terms of types of runs you guys did. Same thing kind of happened in week one. In terms of that, how much do you kind of go into a game saying, hey, we want to get a percentage of zone or a percentage of power? How much do you kind of script that before a game?
Well, you're only going to put so many calls on the sheet, and so, let's just say, for example, you've got 35 calls or whatever, I'm just making that up as a number, you're going to lean towards the things that you think are going to work. And then I think within the game, there's times that you go out there and you go, I was wrong about that. We better lower the degree of difficulty here and do some things that we can do, or put our guys in position where they can block these guys without, having to think so much. And then there's games where you really feel like there's a lot of different things clicking, and I think when there are a lot of different things clicking, I think that variation is good.
Skyler? Saturdays with the AP. Do you have a stand-up routine for us?
No, I do not. I definitely like watching stand-up, though.
Your 2 years in Arizona, do you remember how many times you all utilized the third quarterback on game day?
That's a good question. I'm not.
Why do they keep asking these questions about the third quarterback? What do they know we don't know? This is like the second week I think I've heard this discussion about asking about the third quarterback and the emergency quarterback. What is going on with this?
I couldn't tell you right off the top of my head, but I'm not sure that we did.
Why is it relevant?
You think that rule's needed? Does it matter much, or was it maybe an overreaction to that?
It was the Denver game during COVID that was a reaction to, right?
Playoff game where Purdy blew out his elbow or whatever, and they.
Oh yeah, the Philly.
I'm sorry, it's rare you really get knocked down to your third quarterback. And typically, if you get knocked down to your third quarterback, it's probably going to be some wide receiver that used to play quarterback or some running back that used to play quarterback in college or high school. So I don't even understand it. I'm missing it. I'm baffled.
In San Francisco game, I probably haven't thought enough about that to have a true answer for you.
And quarterback development, how hard is that in the NFL when QB1 reps are so important?
It's hard. It's one of the reasons that I think that the preseason games, do have some validity, is because, those are some of the few areas where you really see those guys get to play. It's not really up to me, so I'm not taking a stand on it or anything like that, but that is definitely the preseason and training camp is where those guys get the most opportunity to do things live.
Nick Harris, Footwear Star Telegram. Explosive run plays, kind of few and far between for this team over the past couple of years. That 50-yard run from Miles Sanders, what worked from an operation standpoint, from running back to offensive line to make that play happen?
He did a good job of sticking with it. And then, the other thing was on that particular play, we got what we would call our premier look. the look that you're really hunting when you install a play, and they kind of stemmed into it late, and we got the look we were looking for, the leverage that we were looking for, and then really the right tackle. We had him doing something kind of unique that you wouldn't normally do versus that look, and he executed it really well. And so we were able to get everybody blocked. You usually don't get that situation, within schemes, but when you can find them and try to hunt, a premier look like that, and then you get it in the game, and the players do a good job executing it.
Unfortunately, Miles Sanders could not run nobody.
To open up that last hole, was that a big part of the operation on that one?
Yeah, that was what he was supposed to do, and it was kind of a counterintuitive thing that was specialized within that play, but he did a really nice job of executing it.
And then as you've seen this offense manifest finally into a regular season game in week 1, as you look back and you and Brian constructing this offense throughout the offseason, where would you say he allowed your influence to show up the most in this system? That's a really good question, because really from the very beginning, it's been just a very open process between he and I and the rest of the offensive staff of laying out the vision of how do we put our players in the best situation to be successful. And also from the beginning, there had been kind of a hard red line of we don't need these guys to have to learn all sorts of new terminology.
Oh, y'all got to be rolling the comments.
Because that's the right
I'm coming
thing
to
do,
the comments
right?
in a minute. Y'all got to be
an
rolling.
Experienced quarterback is we don't need to, take the offense and make it stand on its head, but where are areas that we can improve? And so within watching the things that were on tape from before, it's all right, well, we're good at this. Why would we throw that out? Or, we probably need a little bit more of X, Y, Z. Let's look at it and see. And we're still in that process, to be honest with you. I didn't have any idea going into last Thursday the things that would look great versus the things that didn't, because there are such things as bad practice plays. There are things that just don't show up when you practice against your own defense because they play their own style, or maybe you don't catch the right defense in preseason. And so those are situations where you kind of got to stand on the table for a play and say, we probably just need to keep working this, and we need to try to find the right situation to run in a game and see what it looks like.
Tommy Arsh, TalkCowboys.com. Quick, when you watch the Giants, Dexter Lawrence in the middle, and then Carter, Burns, Thibodeau off the edge, what stands out about that group, and how much of a challenge is it for your younger guys?
Yeah, explosiveness, speed, talent. They've really got an excellent front. Obviously, Dexter Lawrence has been kind of a stabilizing piece in the middle for them for such a long time. And really, they all do a really nice job on first and second down, but when third down comes around, they're very impressive as well. And that's, a little bit unique for a guy his size that plays nose tackle.
Coach, Ali Jawad, DLS Cowboys, Bill Carter, they moved around a couple times against Washington. They had him lined in the middle as well. They might put him at weak side linebacker with Mike McFadden's injury. Just how do you kind of game plan around a guy that could be moving around a lot on the fly?
I think, that's maybe the only part of kind of watching the injury report or things like that you can maybe try to get a glimpse of what you think somebody's going to do more of or less of. But ultimately, at the end of the day, I think that you try to look at what is the root of the scheme that you're playing against, because generally that's what's going to show up the most. So, really outside of that, there's certain pictures that you continue to see on tape over and over structurally, and we just try to anticipate the structure more as much as anything else.
We'll wrap it up with Babe.
Babe Loffberg, 105.3 The Fan, Cowboys Radio. When you're the 12th pick in the draft, you're supposed to be good, and as a coach, you're never satisfied. But for the first game out, Tyler Booker, there were times he just mauled people inside. And did that get you excited of where this can go with him?
Sure. Yeah. I'm always excited to watch him play. And I think I said it last week, and it holds true in my mind, is like that guy, the reason that he was drafted where he wasn't just because of physical talent. Like guards get drafted that high because of their mentality and the type of competitors that they are. And so those are the things that you get the most excited about with Tyler Booker, is just knowing that, guys are going to get beat. It's the NFL. They're going to have a bad rep here or a bad rep there, or sometimes a bad game. But trusting somebody that you know the way that they're going to respond to those things and the way that they're going to compete when those things happen. Those are the things that make you feel really good as a coach, because you can trust the level of the competitive spirit that you're going to get from a guy, the competitive stamina that you're going to get from a guy.
What's the importance of getting out to a hot start here at AT&T this Sunday?
Yeah, focus on this season, focus on this team.
We're going to check out Dak Prescott here in a moment. That was Clayton Adams, said a lot of good things. Clayton Adams, I'm telling you, he'll be the first coach plucked from the Dallas Cowboys. Very intense guy. Very intense guy. And I would be afraid of a team I would actually be afraid of a team that this guy was the offensive coordinator of, from the standpoint of calling plays and the type of personnel that they would actually get this guy. I guarantee you he would have one of the most incredible run games you've ever seen in your life. But nevertheless, I'm glad we got him on the Cowboys, and it's going to pay dividends for us over the next season. Hopefully he'll last 2 seasons. But this guy is going to be absolutely great for us. Let me read a couple of comments on here, man. Y'all got to be laughing up in here talking about this stuff with Michael Parsons. That Basement Boys, I absolutely agree with you. Justin Durham, what's going on? We them boys, what's going on? He said 34-9 Cowboys. Yes, sir. It's kind of funny to me, Doug. I understand where you're coming from. I know you like Michael Parsons, obviously, but Michael Parsons' heart isn't in Dallas. Michael Parsons' heart is not in Dallas. If Michael Parsons' heart is in Dallas, Michael Parsons would be in Dallas. Wherever a man's treasure is, the Bible teaches us that's where his heart is. Michael Parsons' heart was with the money. Michael Parsons could have stayed in Dallas. This whole thing with him and David Mulugeta was all about maximizing the amount of dollars he could make. But I still think he sold himself short, because he could have got more dollars with Jerry Jones. He could have got more dollars with Jerry Jones off the field, because I guarantee you, he'd have signed with the Cowboys, man. It'd have been endorsement deals everywhere. Man, we'd be tired of this dude by now if he'd signed with the Cowboys. He'd have been on so many commercials, it'd be sickening. But nevertheless, he made his decision. I don't think his heart is in Dallas. I also don't think he went off the way people say. He didn't go off. He didn't go off. They had 3 sacks. They had 3 sacks out there without him on the field. People talk about what they did when he was on the field. What did they do when he was off the field? They were absolutely dominant when he was off the field. And I'm telling you, I have no clue why the Cowboys didn't just go after Kenny Clark. The Cowboys should have went after this dude, Vaness, who place he took. This dude, Vaness, can play, man. I don't understand it. The Cowboys should have said, yeah, we want Kenny Clark and Vaness and 2 first-rounders, because that's the guy that Michael Parsons, his spot he's taking. But again, Ryan All makes a comment too. He says he goes off at this time. He should have went off in the playoffs. Yeah, I see what you're saying there, Ryan. Boy, let me read another one here too. And again, Ryan, we've seen him do this stuff. And I agree with you, because Green Bay, to me, at this point, don't look too much different than some of those defenses the Cowboys had. They don't look too different. You don't really know what your defense is until you run up against a team that can run the ball. Well, they've ran up against 2 teams. Detroit, they can run the ball, but they're trying to figure out who they are offensively, and so they drop the ball. Washington can't run the ball, but they're going to start running up against some teams that can run the ball, and you're going to see, just like it was when we had Michael Parsons, it's different when you run at those types of teams, when you run at those pass rush teams. You're going to see y'all going to see the value of Kenny Clark before it's all said and done. The Basement Boys, he said, Clowney wanted to generate buzz to get more money. That's what I believe too. The Cowboys want Clowney. Shoddy wants Clowney. I believe so too. He turned the Cowboys down, and it leads me to believe that if he turned the Cowboys down, I think the Cowboys probably tried to offer him what he wanted. Well, I don't understand how any other way they would be ready to sign on the dotted line unless it was what he wanted. We'll see what happens as more come out in the wash. Hate on knees. He got me laughing up in here. He said that Mo. He said he had half a sec. He said, "What the world y'all see?" Man, I'm just telling you, man. The media be hyping this dude up. They be hyping this dude up, man. I love Michael, but man, come on, man. They gotta stop this. Yeah, they gotta stop this, man. They gotta stop it. But again, I think the Cowboys are going to be just fine without Michael Parsons. They're going to be just fine. They're going to be better than fine. This team was never predicated upon Michael Parsons, and it's not and it's not predicated upon the edge rush now. This team is predicated upon the offense and Dak Prescott. But I do think as the season goes on, y'all are going to see Doug Williams. You're going to be singing a whole different song. You watch what I tell you. Dominant defensive tackles are more important than edge rushers. Edge rushers can change the game in a play. Defensive tackles control the whole game. Defensive tackles control a game. Edge rushers can't control a game. Defensive tackles control games. Entire games. They control them. You're going to see the same effect this week with Kenny Clark and also Odigizua. They are going to control the New York Giants offensively. And the reason why they're going to control the New York Giants offensively is that Russell Wilson isn't Jalen Hurts. When they put that pressure in his face, he's going to try to do some of those outs like Brian Broaddus talked about. He's going to try to throw outside the boundaries. I see interceptions coming. I see knockdown passes coming. I won't be surprised if Oso Odigizua and Kenny Clark both have a sack. I won't be surprised if they're batting down balls, tip balls, all kinds of stuff on Russell Wilson because he's a shorter quarterback. He's not going to be able to get outside the way Jalen Hurts did. And when he does get outside, I think the Cowboys are going to be a lot more disciplined this week. And they're going to push everything rather than inside. They're going to just push it up the field. And they're going to be ready if he tries to squirt through some of those gaps, they're going to get him. Now, it's going to be a different story. I'm telling you. No hate on Michael Parsons. But you're going to see the value. I promise all of us, we're going to see the value of having dominant defensive tackle play. Dominant defensive tackle play travels in December because that's when everybody want to run and when it's cold. They want to run when it's cold. You watch what I tell you. You watch what I tell you. We're going to be a whole lot better as the season goes on. All right. Let's get over here to Troy Aikman. Troy Aikman has some things to say about the Dallas Cowboys. And I found it to be very interesting of what Troy Aikman said. We know Troy Aikman can be very hard on the Cowboys at times. But he had some things to say about what he thought about the Dallas Cowboys after the Philadelphia Eagles game. Check this out. Troy Aikman over on the ticket.
What we were going to see a week ago with the Cowboys opening against the defending Super Bowl champs, they were able to do some really good things. What impressed you most? I know we don't have moral victories in this game of football, but they did some things really well. What impressed you most about opening night?
Yeah, I think just in general, I was impressed with what I saw. They were competitive throughout the ball game. They had a chance. I just felt that they had good energy, and the weather delay, that's always hard on any football team. But I think everybody knew going into that game it was going to be a tough game for Dallas and a difficult game to win. And yet they had a chance to do that. I felt really positive about it. I heard Brian Schottenheimer's comments. He said the right thing, just as you just did, George, that there are no moral victories, but yet I would have to believe that they came out of that stadium with a pretty good feel for what they might have. And yeah, a loss is a loss, and you don't feel good about those. But all in all, I thought there were a lot of positives to come out of that game.
2 seasons ago, Dak Prescott had his best season ever. Last season, there was the injury. he didn't play well in spots. Nobody was really sure what was going on last season, but in the opener, he looked spectacular. He's 32. We talk a lot with you about the game slowing down for veteran quarterbacks. Do you think Dak is in that window now, and do you see that in his play that it's kind of slowed down for him?
Yeah, I was interested in seeing how he looked and.
Boy, y'all killing me with some of these discussions up here in this chat, boy. Y'all are killing me with some of these discussions, man. This discussion with Michael Parsons is killing me, boy. Let me read this. We're going to get back to this. We're going to get back to this thing with Troy Aikman. I want you to hear what he says about Dak Prescott and the rest of the team. But he said he was very impressed with the team. Let me read a couple of comments. Preston Taylor said, he said, over Sean, Winfrey, Bland, Revel, Carson, Mingo, Butler. When these guys are all healthy, yeah, we're going to be hell. I agree. Boy, I agree for sure. Doug Williams, I'm not sure he made the Packers into a powerhouse. And the reason why I say we're going to have to wait and see. We're going to have to wait and see because in 2023, the Green Bay Packers had the lowest seed. They rolled into Dallas and beat the Dallas Cowboys without Michael Parsons, and we had Michael Parsons. They neutralized him. Then the Green Bay Packers went to San Francisco and almost did the same thing to San Francisco that they did to Dallas, and a lot of people don't talk enough about that. The Green Bay Packers were on some kind of wicked run. Last year, the Green Bay Packers were 11-6. They were an 11-6 team injured. They were injured last year, and they were 11-6 and went to the playoffs. So the question becomes, Doug Williams, and Kurt Herbstreit made the statement of the night, and I still don't think people heard what he said. He said Michael Parsons joined an already great team heading in the right direction. They were already heading in the direction that they're going with Michael Parsons. So, Doug Williams, the question is simple. All this talk, people keep talking about what Michael Parsons has brought to the Green Bay Packers. I don't think he's brought anything yet. We're not going to know what he brought to the Green Bay Packers until we get to the end of the season. The Green Bay Packers, if I'm not mistaken, the Green Bay Packers have already seen 13-win season without Michael Parsons. That's not what they got Michael Parsons for. They didn't get Michael Parsons to win a playoff game. They've done that without Michael Parsons. The question is, how far do they get with Michael Parsons? And I'm just telling you how I am. Matt LaFleur is fired if they don't go to the Super Bowl this year. That's where I am. Because the only place that you're going to be able to prove, and anybody's going to be able to prove, that Michael Parsons really added to the Green Bay Packers is them progressing in the playoffs because of him. They were already probably going, I can say it. I don't even say probably. The stuff that they're doing, these two teams, they were already beating them without Michael Parsons. How do I know? Because they started out beating these teams in both games without Michael Parsons. We are not going to know what Michael Parsons, the contribution that he's making to this team. We're not going to know it until the playoffs. But I'll tell you this, the Dallas Cowboys actually have the upper hand in this discussion. Because if the Cowboys can win 11 games without Michael Parsons, 12 games without Michael Parsons, what does that tell you? If the Cowboys win a playoff game without Michael Parsons, they win 2 playoff games without Michael Parsons. They don't even have to go to the Super Bowl necessarily. If they win 1 playoff game without Michael Parsons, all this noise is dead. It's already dead to me, but it's dead. The Cowboys winning without Michael Parsons is more proof they don't need Michael Parsons than the Green Bay Packers winning with Michael Parsons, because the Green Bay Packers were already winning without Michael Parsons. Make sense? We're not going to know until the Green Bay Packers get to the end. We're going to know sooner about the Cowboys. We'll know sooner with the Dallas Cowboys. We'll know sooner. Because we've seen what they've looked like without Michael. I mean, with Michael. We get to see what they look like without him. Okay, they're 0-1. Well, heck, they got beat 2 times last year with Michael Parsons. Okay, Cooper Rush. Yeah, he was the quarterback, but people were saying he was better than Dak Prescott. But nevertheless, we're not going to see the Michael Parsons. We're not going to truly understand what Michael Parsons has brought to the Green Bay Packers until it comes down to a time, and that's going to be around preseason time. We're not going to know what he is until he gets there, and that's the truth. Can't say he's a powerhouse. They were already beating teams. They were beating teams without Michael Parsons. They're just 1-1. It's not like they're 13-1 right now. 14-1, 14-2. We're not going to know the Michael Parsons effect until end of the season. But with the Cowboys, we're going to be able to see this stuff in the season. The more they win without Michael Parsons, the more they'll prove they never need. I'm not saying they never needed him, but they're going to prove that they can do without it. And they mess around and win a playoff game and don't let them win too. Boy, you want to talk about some hurt feelings. You want to talk about some hurt feelings. Man. But again, the basement boy said it. He said it's week 2. They're on a powerhouse. I agree. They have not yet been tested. And I'm going to tell you this. You just wait. Wait until it gets cold. We're going to see what he looks like in the cold, playing outside in that frozen tundra. We're going to see what he looks like in the cold. We're going to see what he looks like when he has to go against the Chicago Bears in that cold. Going up against the Minnesota Vikings. They'll have another crack at the Detroit Lions, this time at Detroit. We're going to see. There's a lot of football left to play. I'm not saying he's turning them into no kind of powerhouse yet, because right now they are winning these games. They are winning these games. It is obvious they would have won these games without him. Now, this is the part y'all got to be laughing on. Boy, these Russell Wilson comments are crazy up in here, man. Blue Star TV said, man, Russ ain't cooking a dang old thing but a L. Bam Bam called him Hot Pocket Russ. April Shower said, Russ using Instapot now. Boy, wait a minute. Boy, this dude hate on these is up in here talking about Russ got bigger problems than they hate on the field. Oh, boy. Boy. Oh, boy. Chanel, what's going on up here late night? You got your coffee? Chanel, you can't handle the truth. He said, yo, G, did you notice that Dan Quinn still can't find a way to stop Green Bay? Boy, I said it tonight on X. Chanel. I said, Matt LaFleur has Dan Quinn's number. Nothing new to see here. Nothing. It was nothing new to see. Dan Quinn struggles. A lot of people don't realize this. Dan Quinn struggles with that. He struggles with the coaching tree. The Shanahan coaching tree. The Kyle Shanahan coaching tree. When Dan Quinn was in Atlanta, when the New England Patriots came back on, well, his coach, his offensive coordinator was Kyle Shanahan. His coach was Dan Shanahan. I mean, it was Kyle. His offense coordinator was Kyle Shanahan. And that Kyle Shanahan coaching tree. Hold on, let me I want to see if I can pull it up. That Shanahan coaching tree that he continues to struggle with is Sean McVay, if I'm not mistaken, Sean McVay and Matt LaFleur. He continues to struggle with them. He continued to struggle with them. Let me see here. I thought Sean McVay was a part of the tree. So it's not Sean McVay, but let me show you who one of them is. And it's a major. This dude knows Dan Quinn. Look who it is. Look who the quarterback coach is, y'all. Look who the quarterback coach was for Dan Quinn during that Super Bowl season. None other than Matt LaFleur. He hasn't been able to beat him. He has a hard time with Kyle Shanahan. He has an extremely hard time with Kyle Shanahan. And when you look at this Kyle Shanahan coaching tree, if I'm not mistaken, okay, Shanahan is kind of like his father's type of thing, but he struggles with Sean McVay. He struggles with him. And I'm telling you, man, Matt LaFleur and Kyle Shanahan has had his number. Did y'all notice when we played the 49ers? Kyle Shanahan. When we played Green Bay, Matt LaFleur. He struggled with them jokers, man. I'm telling you. He struggled with them jokers. So it was nothing new to see. They got his number. Matt LaFleur has his number, and that just seems to be nothing he can do. Nothing he can do. So we'll see. Anyway, man, let's get back to this thing with Troy Aikman, boy. Y'all had me rolled up in the comments, man. I had to take a moment on that one, boy. Y'all got me rolling up there talking about that cooking. All right, let's hear what Troy Aikman has to say about Dak Prescott.
And really how the team looked offensively within this offense. Not that it's dramatically different from anything that he's been doing in the past, but with Schottenheimer taking over as the play caller, and what might that look like since he was at the controls? And I felt watching it that, when I went back and watched it this week, I just think that Dak was in total command. There was one ball to Jake Ferguson down the middle. I'm sure he'd like to have gotten a little bit more on that, but there really was not only poor decisions, there wasn't any really poor ball placement. And I just thought he was really sharp in the pocket, decisive. Ball was coming out. When he did get pressure, he handled that well. And yeah, I think it's all part of, as he's continued to play in the league. And like you said, that 32 years old, he's been playing a while. You're not going to do a lot that fools him. And he's got a good understanding of what he's being asked to do within the offense and knows where his answers are on each and every play. So he definitely was playing at a high level the other night. And I would expect that to continue. I would certainly expect that to continue this week.
Now we just got to get Dak Prescott to trust George Pickens in game situations. He trusted him in practice, but now we got to get him to trust him in game situations.
How much does it help to have a more dynamic running game? It seems like there is a real commitment to power runs and different types of runs than they've had around here in a while, and that helps when you have 3rd and 3 and 3rd and 2 as opposed to it's 3rd and 10 again, and I got to make some sort of play here.
Yeah, clearly. I mean, that helps, and I would expect that there will be, even though I don't know that looked quite the way I expect to see it going forward. I know Miles Sanders had the one long run, which I think inflates the numbers a little bit. Rushing attempts weren't that high overall in general, but I would expect to see more of the run game as we move through this season. At least that would be my expectation in knowing Schottenheimer the way that I do and what he would like to do. But then you've got some playmakers in CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens and trying to keep them involved and all that. So you figure out what works best for you on any given week. But, the run game, I would expect that there will be a commitment to that. And hopefully for them, they'll gain more consistency with that as well.
The defending champion Eagles won the game, but it was kind of a rough start for them, starting with the spitting incident before the first snap. Yeah. What did you think of the defending champs?
Well, I think that they hung in there and did what they had to do to win the football game, and probably got a little bit more than what they thought they might, would be my guess. That's an electric atmosphere for opening night, and I think it's, again, going back to Dallas, that's why I think it's such difficult game to play in as a road team in the opening Thursday night game against the defending world champs when they're dropping a banner and the energy in the stadium. It's primetime television. There's just a lot working against you. But, I think I just feel so strongly about Philadelphia and their roster and the way in which they go about their business. It was a big win for them against a division rival. We saw a lot of the division games. We had one on Monday night, but I think these teams that are in these competitive divisions, to be able to open up the season against a division opponent and win a game, I think you feel good about that. And now they've got, just like Dallas, but they're 1-0 and they've had the extended time off as they get ready for this week's game.
This is Troy Aikman talking Cowboys and NFL with us here on The Ticket. They get the Giants this week, and they've been through their offensive problems over the last couple of years. Do you think they're about to switch quarterbacks and go with a rookie? And you did that playing your rookie year. How tough is it, especially if you don't have a surrounding support crew?
Well, it's every situation is a little different, and so when I played, I also had a first-year head coach in Jimmy, and they weren't going to be firing him at the end of the season. So, it's they get their backs against the wall in New York, and Dable, he has to win now, and if he doesn't, I'd be surprised if he's back next year. And
he done.
You bring in these veteran quarterbacks as well. You make the move to get the young guy in Jackson Dart, and then you come out and you lay an egg like you did in week one. It makes it really challenging. And we saw Dable's comments after the game that he wasn't real decisive when asked what he's going to do at quarterback or if Russell would start this week. And then the next day he came back and said that he would. My guess is that there was a conversation with the general manager and the owner and what are we going to do going forward? And they made the decision to stick with Russell, but it was not a good opening day. And when you come out, that's not good on any given weekend. But when you do that in week one, after you've had months to prepare for an opponent, it doesn't bode well. So I think Brian Dable, who I really like, I think he's in a tough position. Because if he ends up having to play the rookie, and unless Jackson just lights it up, he's essentially just, writing his papers and knowing what's going to happen at the end of this season, if not before the season ends. So I think their best bet right now, from what I've seen, is probably Jackson Dart. He'd give that team a little lift, a little energy. But the fact that we're having this conversation and we're in week two is not good. I mean, this has been a bad football team for a long time, and I know everyone in New York is losing their patience. And maybe Jackson will be the answer as we look to the future, and he could very well be the answer next week or in the middle of this game. But it sounds like Russell's on a pretty short leash, and I'm as anxious as anyone to see what might happen, but I don't think there's any question that New York's going to have a tough time this weekend.
Shoot, you better say it. Shoot. You better say it. I believe Brian is going to have this team laser focused because I know Brian is better than me. And I already know how I'm approaching this game if I'm Brian Schottenheimer. I'm telling the Cowboys that this team is dangerous. I'm telling them the Giants are dangerous. They pose a threat. They might actually be better than the Eagles in some respects in certain places. And I am telling them, boy, y'all better be on your P's and Q's. And I'm coming up with a game plan out of this world. I'm calling a game plan like we're playing the Super Bowl. Straight up. Straight up. Now, again, somebody said we're in love. Ryan R. said, seems like we're in love with zone defense now. We'll see. I talked about it today. That was more of an analytic move. A lot of people say that Jalen Hurts struggles against the zone. But I can see us playing zone against Russ, too. Russ can't throw anything right now. I mean, he's not going to be able to throw anything hardly but outside. So we'll see what happens. But maybe, too, the Cowboys with their current cornerback situation don't want to do any one-on-one. Manny Norman is asking about Gilly. I heard someone discussing Gilly And the problem with bringing in Gilmore is that Gilmore doesn't play inside, and we need somebody to play inside because that's why Reddy is playing. Elam was already playing outside. We got Diggs outside, and I think Bland was going inside and out, depending upon the down and the distance. So the only place that Gilmore is really going to help you is outside, and I think the Cowboys pretty much have the outside covered. So we might not be seeing any Stephon Gilmore this year unless there is an issue outside. Unless there is an issue outside. Doug said Michael would eat this game. Well, he's been in 2 games he should have been eating. He's already had 2 games he should have been eating. He's only got half a sack. So that's Doug. Arguably right now he may be on an even better defense. The linebacking play is better. I would say the Green Bay got us on the linebacking play. He should have ate today. Especially playing against a rookie right tackle. He played against a rookie right tackle, and then he played against Tunsil at left tackle, who definitely ain't what he used to be. Church said, I think Vach and Brian said the front office don't like Gilmore's speed anymore. Interesting. I still think the issue with him is probably not even his speed as much as it is they need an inside cornerback. Shadell said Gilly can't cover receivers that have real speed. Yeah, and I think they may be looking for. I think they're banking on Savon Revel Jr. to come back healthy also. So I think the Cowboys think they're fine. They just got to weather the storm. I just think that's where they are. I think their bigger concern is Clowney. I think their bigger concern is Clowney. I think they're going to make it a priority to try to get Clowney in here. I think the Cowboys are really trying to build a championship offense. A championship defensive line. A championship defensive line. I think they're also trying to solidify their containment because I think they saw where they lost containment in this game against the Eagles. Bam Bam Gaines said might be too much competition in that room for Clowney G. He probably wants to start somewhere if it's not the money. Well, I think the Cowboys would be a good situation for anybody because the Cowboys aren't going to play like they've played in the past. I had said before the Cowboys traded Michael Parsons, this would have been a great year for Parsons because he wasn't going to play all the snaps anyway. The Cowboys are going to have a rotation similar to what Green Bay is using. It would have been a great season. He would have stayed fresh all the way to the end of games. So, no, Jadeveon Clowney will be fine in here. Yeah, Jadeveon Clowney will definitely be fine because you can move Marshawn Nealon around. Nealon can play inside too a little bit. There's just various things you can do. Sam Williams, you can get him involved from the linebacking position. There are just so many things that, you could do that you'll be able to do to even for Clowney to be involved. Yeah, there'll be a lot of stuff you can do even to get Clowney involved. All right, let's go back here. Since he brought up Dak Prescott, I want to show you the Dak Prescott. I want to show you the Dak Prescott interview. Dak Prescott is always box office at the podium or in interviews, and so he gave an interview today while we were live, so we didn't get a chance to listen to it. Since Troy Aikman kind of brought up Dak Prescott, let's hear what he has to say.
What's the importance of getting out to a hot start here at AT&T this Sunday?
Yeah, focus on this season, focus on this team. The opportunity we got, right, to write our own slate and get this win streak started at home. And after that, it'll be one at a time. But it's important right now because this is the game that's up. This is our opportunity to make sure that we start this home field advantage thing the right way and build on the good that we did last week, but we got to finish out with a win.
Just put a bow on it. Are you satisfied with the discipline for Jalen Carter?
Am I satisfied?
No, I don't. I don't care about it.
No, not at all. Not at all.
Jack, 4 years ago, you guys were coming off a losing season in which you were hurt, lost a close one to the Super Bowl champ, then ran off 6 in a row. What is there about this team that you think might be able to replicate something like that?
Yeah, the way that we approach every day, and that in turn is the confidence that these guys come in with each and every day, and the way they take practice. They take meetings to the practice field, and the way that we execute at practice. This is a young group led by the right older vets. they have a lot of confidence, and I credit the coaches as well, right? Putting guys in the right position to give them confidence, building their confidence all throughout the offseason. That now it's just about putting it together, building one game at a time, being process-oriented, focusing on the good, learning from the bad, getting better each game, and I think this is a team that can be really, really good.
Doug, how do you explain the fact that since 2016 you've been able to beat the Giants every time you go?
Hope to keep that going. That's the plan. Studying, preparing, doing everything in my power to make sure that I'm prepared to keep that going.
Can you talk about CD's response and accountability? Certainly Friday, he said he didn't sleep and was out here catching balls on the jugs. What have you seen him this week? And
yes, I mean,
him bouncing back.
Yeah, CD's a true pro. Started off right with him after that game, taking accountability, whether it was in the locker room to players or whether it was to you guys to the media. But not only just saying it, coming in that next day, right? We've all heard, right? He was on the jugs, just getting his reps, and all that doesn't wipe that away, but that just allows you to feel better about the next opportunity that you get. And he's taking the right approaches to do that, and look out for those guys in the back end that have to catch him and cover him. I mean, he's had a hell of a practice, had a hell of approach, and it's not going to change. It's not like he's been any different really than the past. You can just tell just from his demeanor, he wants a little bit of he wants to make up for that.
Speaking of approach, when you looked at the film and you look at when you have CD and Pickett's out there together, were there more things that you could see that were possibilities as you guys move forward with those two on the field together?
Yeah, those two on the field. You add those other guys, Ferg, Turp, right? Tolbert. Yeah, there's a lot of things that we can build off of. There are some plays out there that last week I wish I would have got it to George maybe one or two more times. Just him running some great routes on the backside where maybe I went to CD or someone else. But we're just going to continue to build guys' confidence, understand, hey, I let them know I saw that route, right? Keep running that. The ball's going to come to you. And, yeah, a lot to grow from.
Dak, they had a lot of pressure against you, but no sacks. A lot of that was the credit to the mobility you kind of had. In terms of your pocket awareness, how has that developed over your time in the NFL?
Yeah, it's also credit those guys up front. Young group going out there. When I'm talking about confidence, I'm particularly talking about that group and just the way that they went out there and blocked. That helps the confidence, but that's nothing that helps the pocket movement, and that's nothing that is new going back to the spring, right? Going against our guys in training camp, just building off of one another. I tell them, hey, every now and then you're going to make a guy miss, I can help you out, right? But that's me having their back and them protecting me, and that starts with those guys up front doing a great job of communication, and then me being able to just feel.
Another big part of this, too, when you start talking about Dak Prescott and what he was able to do in the pocket, another big part of this, too, is I'm telling this man, Super Bowls are won with defensive tackles, offensive guards, and the center. When a defense can push the pocket in the lap of the opposing quarterback, it causes all kinds of problems. It also hurts the run game. When an offense can block the middle of that field and keep that pocket so secure that if these guys on the edges, if they do kind of get, because we see these guys like Michael Parsons and other like Myles Garrett, Nick Bosa, they got that lean where they can lean real deep and still get to that quarterback. Well, when you got those guards and that center able to block, and you see a edge rusher coming around the edge, but your tackle can at least push him outside, you step up. You step up. You move kind of with that center and those two guards. You step up. You move to the side a little bit, but you kind of make sure you stay in front of them, especially if you're not a running quarterback. You can stay in front of them. That's that pocket. That's what they provided for Dak Prescott. Very interested to see how they hold up this week. Everybody keeps talking about the New York Giants have this ferocious front four. Well, we're going to see. We got another test for our offensive line. But again, as it pertains to Ty Smith, Cooper Beebe, Tyler Booker, man, I'm confident. I'm not even back there, but I can tell you Dak Prescott has a lot of confidence in them, and that's how this thing, that is really going to pay dividends for us going down the road. Yeah, Derek G, I thought Jay Toya played pretty good. From what my understanding is, Jay Toya played really good. C-Bay said they hate. C-Bay said they hate Dak G. Come on, it's obvious.
Against a defensive line with this kind of talent, does that awareness need to go to any kind of different level?
I mean, I think just in the National Football League in general, a lot of times you're throwing against the pressure and not necessarily the coverage. So that's one thing that we're aware of. These guys got a bunch of first rounders up there and some really great players. So it's a challenge for our guys up front. Not only them, the tight ends, receivers, backs, everybody who can get involved and help them. But if we do, pretty positive, we'll like our matchups.
CD said that you are, quote, hooping, and you've been hooping since camp. How do you react to that? Do you feel like you're hooping?
Sure, I miss playing basketball. I hadn't played that. Hadn't played that in years. Sure, yeah. It's the experience I talked about. I think last time I talked to y'all, like you can't supplement that. There's not enough studying that you can do that will give you the experience and what that does and teaches you. And I just think a lot of that's just paying off on top of being in this system, right? A guy who's known me for 3-4 years or so, and just understanding the way that we want to attack, being on the same page, and then having guys like CD and George out there definitely help.
He said that in response to your one sleeve. Can you explain the one sleeve? Why you
just change it up? Hell, I started wearing 2 sleeves just because we were on a winning streak, and I just never took them off. So I've had a lot of fans ask me to go back to no sleeves. That feels weird. So yeah, I just took the one sleeve off.
What do you admire about Russell Wilson? What do you admire about Russell Wilson, and what do you remember about how great it felt to get that playoff win against Seattle?
Yeah, I mean, that was a while back, but I mean, he's a Super Bowl champion, guys who had a lot of success in this league. Obviously, starting in a new organization over there. He's a professional. I know anytime that I've met with him or talked to him, that's what jumps out to you. So I'm wishing him the best in everything except this week and the next time we play him.
Yes, sir.
You've had Zach comforting guys up front. Tyler.
Don't worry, he won't be playing by the next time you see him, Dak. By that time, it will be Jackson Dart.
That same category as those guys, Tyler Smith.
Into comforting?
Yeah, it's comforting to know that you have a guy like that.
Oh, yeah, hell yeah. Yeah, for sure. Excuse me with these cuss words. Most definitely. Not only him, Tyler Guyton, right? You saw the viral play, things like that. Definitely.
Tyler Guyton got fined. Tyler Guyton got fined $12,000 for the punch. In case y'all didn't know that, the NFL caught it, especially because social media kept playing it. This dude Tyler Guyton threw a full out left cross almost, and he got fined $12,000 for it. But nevertheless, it was still powerful.
Makes you feel better. I think I said it to one of the coaches. I've got a bunch of fighters and boxers up there in front of me who just their job is to block, and that makes you feel good going into a game, whether it starts off with some trash talking or it develops into a physical game. When you've got those 5 guys, 6 guys, even some of the backups, obviously, you feel very comfortable behind them, and it's just about continuing to build their confidence to make sure they're fighting for you.
Is Tyler Smith worthy of that next guy?
For sure,
yeah.
For sure.
And why is that in your mind?
Turn on the tape. I think because you're asking me, right? It's kind of obvious just the talent and the raw ability he has. I mean, you turn on the tape, and whether it's an all-pro D lineman, all-pro linebacker, I guarantee there's a tape out there, him dumping him or him throwing a guy, and that's just not one time. That's consistently throughout the games. He's a physical guy. He's a guy that's easy to follow. When he opens his mouth and he speaks, everybody listens. So he's definitely the next man up in that case.
CD said he texted you over the weekend saying, hey, this won't happen again. Keep trusting me. And he said you had some encouraging words. Do you remember what you said back to him?
Yeah, I'm not going to stop throwing you the ball. That's a game, bro. Same thing I told y'all. It wasn't the best day. It wasn't the best day for CD, and it's understandable. It happens. Hell, I've had him, right? We've all had him. Nobody, especially, I'm not going to lose confidence in him. And so don't worry. Just keep approaching the way that you're approaching, and you're going to have a bounce back, and many of them.
You and Shotty.
Now, I agree with the Basement Boys. The Basement Boys said a while back, he said this is not the bounce back game for CeeDee Lamb. I don't believe it is either. I think the Chicago Bears. I agree with the Basement Boys. C-Base up in here laying down the law. He said he done with the Michael Parsons conversation. I feel you, my brother. I don't think this next game is the CeeDee Lamb bounce back game. I think the Chicago Bears is the CeeDee Lamb bounce back game. I think the New York Giants is going to be the George Pickens coming out game. I think we're going to see a heavy dose of George Pickens. And again, I said it before, I'll say it again. When you got these types of wide receivers and the comfortability that Dak Prescott has with CeeDee Lamb, you cannot let this necessarily develop organically. It is actually something that you need to be intent about early on and then let it become organic. Let it become organic. But we have got to show George Pickens that we trust him. And we don't need to have a game flipping back and forth about, okay, this game is CDs, this game is George Pickens. Where this team will be more dangerous is when they can get the balance of, no, we're going to get both of them involved in this game. We're going to figure out ways to get them both involved in games. See if we can make sure we can get both of them a minimum of 10 targets each. We got to get both of them involved in this game. And then when Mingo get back, we got to figure out a way to get Mingo involved and Turpin. I do think the Cowboys need to focus more rather than letting Turpin play a traditional slot receiver position. I think the Cowboys just need to focus on quality with him over quantity. And I really think they need to try to get him in space. I don't really want to see him running underneath on, linebackers and, just trying to get little bitty 5 and 6 yards. No, be very intent, pick plays, things of that nature. How can you get him in space and then let him outrun everybody? But I do think we have got to get George Pickens. This is going to be the game for George Pickens. I don't think this is going to be the game. I don't think it's going to be the CeeDee Lamb bounce back game. I think this is going to be the doggone George Pickens coming out game. I think this dude is going to have a heck of a game. I do. We them boys. Yeah, he said, will Pickens have a better game this week against the Giants? I think we about to have a crazy Pickens game this week. I don't think it's going to be the bounce back game. This is going to be the Pickens game. And then the Bears. And I think it's the Bears that we probably need to see. I think by the time we hit the Bears, the Cowboys need to have a game plan to where it's not one or the other. It's both. You got to deal with it. That's what we got to get this offense to. We got to get them to the point. You got to deal with both of these wide receivers in the same game.
They've been working together a lot for years. Did you learn anything after him calling plays with the bullets flying for real, though?
A little bit, yeah. I like the way that he calls it. He's got some moxie to him, and from an early third down call, right, that we was able to get CD a shot just throughout the game. I like the way that he sees it. He does a good job of attacking matchups. Does a good job of reminding me and letting me know, that's 3 over there. Let's try to get him a touch. Or Ferg hadn't touched the ball in a while, and I think that's very real when you've got the playmakers that we have, and we can hit you from all the different areas. Is you've got to keep each guy active and going. So
you like to be aggressive. Does he allow you to be more aggressive?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just it's a mutual understanding, and for the biggest thing is radio. He says, and it's something that we've said around here for a long time, is a shot called doesn't mean a shot taken, and so them calling the plays and me just playing the play allows him to be aggressive, right? Allow the plays to come in aggressive, and if it's not there, I'm not going to take that chance. But with the opportunity, the guys that we've got outside, the speed, when it's there, I'm gonna let it go.
He talked about the must-call plays on his call sheet and how he gets feedback from you. When you're kind of giving feedback on some of those must-call plays, what are you looking for, and what are you trying to kind of find out?
Yeah, I mean, it depends on the game, what's happened in this first couple of series, or first couple of plays, or that last third down. I think they're getting to this, and at that point, it's just really communications that we've had all week that I'm just reminding him of, or just saying, hey, let's get to that one. I think it's time. But yeah, it's just a consistent communication on just the whole game plan, and he's very open with it.
With that Giants streak, just going back to that, we talk all the time with you about how hard it is to win in this league. Is there a part of that, just 13 straight wins, that's kind of like amazing, surprising, that's really what it is?
No, it's just I want to keep it going, period. I want to do everything I can. I know these guys are in this locker room just to keep that going. It's hard to get streaks going in the National Football League, and a streak like that, sure, it's selfish streak in a sense, but not necessarily when you think about all the guys that it takes to win, and it's not just me. And I want to keep that going.
Were you aware that you and CD, when you're both in the lineup, have never lost to the Giants?
Not necessarily.
Is it harder to get up for?
I mean, but okay, makes sense though. Makes sense.
You never lost to the Giants.
Yeah, first two games of my first two games of my career.
Yeah, but since then.
Yeah.
Can't pay for that.
CD said he's got something for him this week.
Yeah, I'm sure that the way he's approached this week, like I said, just his demeanor, the way he's finishing every play at practice, the extra time on the jugs, starting back on Friday, he does. But my job would be just make sure getting him even, not too high, not too low, allow the game to come to him. Last thing we want to do is press. So
that's the key. You have to be very careful in a situation like this. The other teams are kind of listening to different little things. You know, people are listening for any little thing they can get like some insight on kind of what your game plan is going to be. And when I hear CeeDee Lamb saying stuff like, you know, get ready next game, that makes me, if I'm the other team, I'm like, okay, let's pay a little extra close attention to CeeDee Lamb. Let's pay a little extra attention. And as a matter of fact, let's even try to get it to the point to maybe where they think they have something that they don't have, and then we'll be right there to get that interception. So I think that's one of the keys. One of the keys is, okay, maybe this isn't the bounce back game. We're going to keep you involved. We still got to keep CeeDee Lamb involved. We can't get CeeDee Lamb down to 3 or 4 touches or anything like that in the game. But we do got to make a point to say, okay, CD, we want George Pickens to get some serious touches this week. Serious touches. I think the Cowboys have got to be intent on this. Get this dude, George Pickens, some serious touches. Some serious touches. And let's show this guy that we trust him. And I think that's the biggest thing.
Just CD, go be CD.
Okay, thank you, guys.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah.
Obviously, I think they have a
for sure. Let's hear George Pickens also after we talked about George Pickens last week. Kind of want to hear what George Pickens has to say. I'm sure he heard some of us out here. You know, these guys is funny. You know, these guys watch them. They watch YouTube and stuff. They watch YouTube and stuff, and they hear us talking about them. And I'm very interested to hear what he said. I want to hear him. We'll listen to him, and then we'll listen to Kenny Clark. But let's check out George Pickens after listening to things that people have said about him out there. Let's hear what he says.
Really just kind of my mindset is for the team, bro. Just getting us a win. That's what I want to feel first, so definitely getting us a win.
What are some of the things you learned from that first game about this being in the offense for the first time in a live game?
The last game was very, physical, competitive. Last game, I'll probably just say, like I said, after the game, we just came up short. I feel like we executed pretty good.
What was your takeaway just from watching yourself on film?
Really, I just didn't want to get the penalty in the red zone. That's the only thing I was thinking about. We're close right there. We can get another touchdown on the board. That's the only thing I was thinking about.
Yeah, Shotty said he had a conversation with you about that. Just what goes into that?
That and really myself. Like I just said, after the game, that's what I was thinking about. Just because we were right there in the area to score, and that's not. Then you take us out of there. Then Miles had the fumble. You know what I mean? So just a series of events.
Shotty talked about getting more touches. How much you talk to him and Dak about what you see on film and
yeah. Really just staying open for them. You see what I mean? I'm not really worried about the touches, the catches, all this stuff. I'm just trying to stay open for the team. Like I said, I'm trying to focus on
Lisa?
The first win.
Have you seen CD do anything extra in practice this week following the performance? He was disappointed.
I think Shotty talked about one of them when we had the off day. He came back and he caught jugs, and we catch jugs every day. I just feel like mentality-wise, it's a little different, When somebody has a game like that, he's going to definitely try to come back and prove to the world why he's one of the best.
How was that played out in practice specifically?
Really just him, like I said, mentality-wise. CD's already great, you know what I mean? So his mindset, I feel like this week has been more, tuned in and just having a great game.
Is an adjustment not being the first option? Do you have to kind of pace yourself, talk to yourself, my time is coming? What's your mindset? Are you change your mindset at all?
No, not really. you can kind of look at Philly theirself with their 2 receivers that they have. I'm just kind of, like I said, staying open for the guys. When the ball comes, just trying to make the play.
When you draw that DPI, is that a conscious decision to try and draw that, or is it kind of just one of those happenstances that happen?
Nah, it's just I really wanted to make the catch. I'm just trying to play football. I really wanted to make the catch and possibly score, or like we end up getting the flag, getting on the 1. But I feel like guys in the league are going more to holding instead of trying to find the ball.
It's one of those things that don't show up in the stat sheet.
Yeah.
There's been a conversation that you've had with the offensive staff just about things you can do outside of the stat sheet that can help the offense.
Not really a conversation, but I've always kind of noticed it myself. Like sometimes I wouldn't make the catch, but then it'll be a flag, and then everything's spot foul in the NFL. So you can definitely impact the game. But as far as guys holding, I feel like that's just what they're leading towards instead of finding the ball.
As a receiver, you have those type of games that CD has, when you have a couple drops, how hard is it to move on from that, or is it find it easy to move on from that?
Yeah, well, it's not, you never want to mess up, but I feel like he's going to come back and bounce back. I feel like mentality-wise, you can only get better from doing something bad. That's what I'm saying. So,
Short memory.
He's going to definitely get better.
Short memory.
Organization focused on the run, and these guys are doing that too. How do you think you've done in that area in the running game in terms of blocking downfield and those kinds of things?
I feel like I did great. I feel like that's one of my things that I use with my size. Just going there trying to get a safety or downfield blocking or, crack blocks, seal blocks. I feel like that impacts the running backs a lot. So I feel like I've been doing good so far.
Somebody said they like the fact that you play with an edge, but just, a line just don't go over. How do you balance that line? Playing with the edge, being...
I wonder if they're asking him some of these questions based on some of the film that we watched. Because we know doggone well that this dude, we know he missed some blocks. We know he did.
Yeah.
Physical and not going over.
That's when I would probably talk about it. That's why I said the penalty in myself, because that's a play where you don't want to go over the edge and get a 15-yard penalty and take us out. Like I said, Miles fumbled. So you just want to be competitive but not over the edge.
George, you talk about the physical play of the cornerbacks. Is it fair to say that some crews allow more physicality than others? And if so, is that something like the first couple plays, certainly by the first series, and how do you adjust to that?
Yeah, definitely first couple plays, definitely when a guy spits on another player, you kind of know the physicality of what type of game it's going to be. But I feel like at an away game, it's always going to be battles with the opposing team with holding or if there's, you blocking a guy and they call holding on you.
And they're going to get away with it too.
You know what I mean? So I feel like you just got to battle through those things.
Giants traveled some corners in that last game. As a receiver, when you see a guy is traveling with you, what does that kind of do for your mentality and thinking when they think, hey, this is the matchup we want?
Yeah, man on man, mono e mono, one-on-one basketball. You definitely want to kill in those moments and then identify zone when you see it.
Appreciate it, man. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. George Pickens is saying all the right things. Let's listen to Kenny Clark before we get out of here. I want to check out Kenny Clark.
Man, just being me, man. Just coming in every day, showing up.
Let me tell you something, man. This dude right here. The thing that I like about this dude, Kenny Clark, all he is a football player. That's all he is. At this point in his career, all he is a football player. All this dude want to do is ball. And I love the fact that he's like that. Let me check out something here Daniel M. said. Let me see here. Daniel said, I do believe the Cowboys are going to take care of business come Sunday against the Giants. However, we do not need to be conservative at times against the Giants. Yeah, I just think this is a good test. Great test for Brian Schottenheimer once again. I want Brian Schottenheimer to literally come out. Brian Schottenheimer to come out, and let's see how good he has this team prepared for a team that we should absolutely beat. These are the kind of games that really make or break you. And we have lost some of these games in the past to where these would be the kind of games if we won these games. If we won these games, they would put us in a certain position. This is one of them games. I mean, if he can get us up for the big ones and get us up for the ones that we should win, boy, we got a bright future. Bright future. I'm telling you, though, if we battle every single team this season the way we battle the Eagles, we're going to be hard to beat. I don't even think the Eagles could beat us again. minus mistakes, I don't think they could beat us again. The way we battled against the Eagles, if we just do that against every team, I just don't think there's a team out there. I don't think there's a team out there that can beat the Cowboys if they'll just continue battling like that. All right, let's check out old Kenny Clark.
So you play like that after just a couple days of practice. What you expect? A week of practice, been here a month, really getting comfortable in the system.
Man, just being me, man. Just coming in every day, showing up. Being consistent, and down in and down out, just giving my best and just doing my job. That's all I'm about. Doing my job at a high level, playing fast, playing physical, and just being relentless.
What's the difference?
This dude is a football player, man. Man, I don't care. This is what the Cowboys needed. The Cowboys were getting too far away from football. They were getting too far away from football. This is what the Cowboys needed. Somebody that is the epitome of what playing football is about. Man, I love to hear this dude's interviews, man. It is just straight up football. I'm a football player. Go check the tape. Man, this dude, you just love having a dude like this on your team, man. I'm telling you, y'all gonna remember I've been telling you, man. When we get towards the end of the season, health withstanding, shoot, let me tell you something, this dude here is going to pay dividends in the playoffs.
What was the difference in run defense in the second half? Y'all really shut them down, split up the middle.
I just feel like pretty much, I feel like the whole game we pretty much played physical. A lot of the runs came from the quarterback scrambling, and that's stuff that we can definitely fix and just be more disciplined, to communicate more. But as far as the run game itself, I don't feel like I feel like everybody pretty much took all 11 and everybody was tackling, gap sound and knocking back the line of scrimmage.
Do you take it personally this on you? They brought you in there to specifically help stop the run. It's been an issue.
Honestly, it's all 11, man.
We need that guy to help us.
Yeah, like I said, stopping the run just don't take one guy. Like I said, I'm gonna come in and be physical and be me, and I expect everybody else to do the same. And as long as we doing that as a team, that's how you stop the run.
One guy definitely helps, though. Shoot.
Compared to the one at Green Bay.
We got a lot of talent here. And when I first came here, I didn't know anybody mainly besides like Osa and Jay and Sally. So when I came here, just looking at the roster, we got some guys. You know what I'm saying? We got a lot of guys that can rush, a lot of guys that's active and explosive. So we got a lot of talent and we got a lot of guys that can do a lot of things.
With all that talent, what do you feel like you guys need to focus on in order to be successful?
Just being our best self. Like I said, you got a lot of guys that can do a lot of different things. But at the end of the day, football is all about just playing fast and playing physical in the run game. And then when we do get a chance to rush the passer, we got to be relentless and communicate and be disciplined in our rush lanes.
And then you haven't been here long at all. But have you been able to talk with Mozzie Smith, a younger guy who plays your position, but is obviously still trying to find his way?
Yeah.
Been able to give him any advice?
Yeah, I've been talking to Mozzie a lot, and just my message to him always been just making sure he's coming in intentional every day, no matter the meeting room, individual work, scout team, and during team reps, just making sure he's coming in and just being intentional about everything he's doing, coming in with the right mindset, in the weight room, all that kind of stuff, and all that stuff will carry itself over to the field.
I'm glad to hear that he is talking to Mozzie, because I talked about this yesterday. Now it's yesterday. Lord Nova, what's up? I just don't know how Mozzie, I'm not sure how he's handling this, because I think one of the things that's being questioned about him is his love for the game. And so if you're listening to what Kenny Clark is really doing, is he's telling them, like, bro, You got to just stay focused. Stay focused. Keep working hard. Hard work pays. You know, because I can only imagine, man, it's one thing when you're being told something behind closed doors, and it's another thing that the media keeps asking about you. You know, they bring in a guy. And I'm just telling you, man, we got to understand we're talking about grown men and how people's psyche work. You think about what happened to Jalen Tolbert. I think this could be one of the reasons why Jalen Tolbert may be struggling. Jalen Tolbert got his opportunity to be the number 2 wide receiver last year. Jalen Tolbert put up some decent numbers. You got to understand, man, he's playing with Cooper Rush. Jeez. That's all I can tell you. He's playing with Cooper Rush. Couldn't throw the ball past 10 yards. But Jalen Tolbert, he wants to be the number 2 receiver here. The Cowboys go and trade for George Pickens. Okay, now he's the number 3 receiver. Brian Schottenheimer becomes the coach. Okay, good. But then they decide they're going to give Kevontae Turpin half the snaps at the 3rd wide receiver. I'm telling you, man, this is a meritocracy. It's a very competitive game at times. And not everybody deals well with, you know, demotion in a sense, or sharing snaps, or getting less snaps. And I think he's going to have a problem even when Jonathan Mingo gets back. We may see even less snaps from him. And maybe they'll give him and Turpin less snaps and then figure in Mingo in that because he's a bigger wide receiver, depending upon the situation. And you got to think it's the same thing with Mozzie. One of the biggest, I don't know if you call it an insult, but one of the biggest eye-openers for Mozzie, with all the talk that was going on about Mozzie, what did the Cowboys do? It's not enough that they traded Michael Parsons. They traded for a defensive tackle, a one tech, to come in immediately and start in front of him. Man, I'm just telling you, you got to be built a certain way. You got to be built a certain way to play this game. You do. You have to be built a certain way. And you have to understand, again, it's a meritocracy. And not only is it a meritocracy, I don't care what part of life you're in. You not only have to understand it's a meritocracy, you have to understand sometimes, too, it's a political game. You got to be prepared for both of those. Sometimes you have to withstand the political game. Sometimes you have to withstand the meritocracy part of the game. And right now he's dealing with the meritocracy part of the game. And, you know, just basically being told, and I'm pretty sure they told him, bro, we're going to have to bring somebody else. And did not tell y'all. Cowboys let him see what he was. And then when they bring somebody in, they tell you this is why we brought him in. So I'm telling this man, what he's talking to Mozzie is about, man, you're going to have to endure. You're just going to have to endure everything that's going on. It's just the bottom line. And so, man, I'm hoping that Mozzie is absorbing all this. And I'm telling you, I really do think, again, as it pertains to Mozzie Smith, I really wish the Cowboys would call up Harbaugh. I wish they would call up Harbaugh and see if Harbaugh would be able to, I really wish they would call up Harbaugh and ask him, hey, man, would you be willing to take this dude on? Would you be willing to take him on? And you could give us a 6th-round draft pick for him, or maybe there's a player or something you got on your team.
I feel like that's what he really needs to focus on.
I mean, that's just how I'm wired, you know. So I'm just trying to give him everything that I got.
The moving process been like? Obviously, you came to the team for the offseason. You have time to move all your stuff, move the family. What's it been like?
Yeah, I still ain't moved now. I'm still in the hotel. So yeah, I'm still living right here, and I mean, but it's cool though. You know, it's allowing me to get a chance to just lock in on the playbook. My family, they come here. They get here today. They flew back to Green Bay, so they'll be out here today.
When you got drafted,
drafted in 2016.
No, I was at home. Yeah, I had a big old party, and yeah, we was at the house.
Can you believe you've been in the league this long? You start looking at that draft list and everybody that went that first round.
Yeah, I mean, we had a really good draft class. That 2016 draft class was great, and just credit to all the guys that's been there. I mean, it's hard to get to year 10. You know what I'm saying? It's definitely it's a long road. But I mean, I was the youngest guy drafted in my draft class too. So yeah, I mean, I'm gonna keep going.
How's the body feeling after week 1?
I feel great. I mean, normal soreness, but we right back to it.
What do you see from Russell Wilson on tape?
I mean, first thing first, we gotta stop him from running. I know they didn't have such a great day passing the ball the last game, so you gotta expect them to throw some screens. Gotta expect them for him to get on the move a little bit more. So as a defensive line, we gotta be more sound in our gaps, sound in our rush lanes, and then it's all about stopping the run first and foremost, and getting them to drop back and pass, and we gotta get after them when they do that.
Do you feel comfortable being here, or is it still going to take you some time? Not just on the field, but just everything in general.
Yeah, I mean, I'm feeling comfortable. I just got my cars here yesterday. Got a chance to drive around and move around the city a little bit. And I still been at the hotel, but I got my spot now. So I mean, slowly but surely, I'm getting the hang of everything. But I feel comfortable. I mean, all my teammates been real welcoming, and all the staff and everything been real welcoming to my family and myself. So yeah, I'm comfortable for sure.
Jerry Jones does these radio interviews every week, and then the one he did yesterday, he said that you and Dak were the two highest rated players on the team off of week 1.
Yeah.
Kind of what you expected, or that surprised you at all?
Man, I mean, I'm just here to play ball, man. Like I said, I feel like my best is the very best, and as long as I'm doing that, coming in, playing relentless, and being consistent with what I'm doing, I feel like I'm the best, at what I do. So that's all I got to do is just keep on being consistent, playing physical, playing with that effort, and when I get my opportunities to rush, and I got to win my one-on-ones, and just be violent. You know what I'm saying? Just play my style of ball, and they all show up on film.
As a veteran player, you got young guys on the team. Whether this situation in Green Bay, how do you feel them out to say, hey, when do I help them, mentor them, and that kind of thing?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like last week, I was kind of, just feeling myself out, seeing how the team, work. But, as I'm getting comfortable, I'm definitely talking to all the guys a lot more, and just, whether it's how we practice, how we meet, everything, just all the little things, and just trying to just give everybody, all of my expertise of what I know, and just trying to help this team win, because we got a lot of talent, and we can do a lot of great things this year. And if we come in with the right mindset every single day, the sky is the limit for this team. We got to be consistent in doing that, though.
Who's the vet for you in Green Bay that came in to kind of help you get going?
Man, I mean, when I first got in the league, it was Mike Daniels. He's a great D tackle, a guy that really pushed me. Ricky Jean Francois, great guy. Julius Peppers, Clay Matthews. David Bakhtiari is a guy that I worked out with during the offseason and just got a chance to see how he works. He really pushed me during the offseason and all kind of stuff in that practice. Aaron, of course. I had so many vets, that I got a chance to take stuff from, and just watch them work and seeing them at their prime and see how they work. So, I mean, I just try to take a little bit of everything from them.
Kenny, seeing how well you graded out against the Eagles and just how well you played in that game on only 6 days after you arrived, what does that say for your abilities and what you can be in that Eagle system?
I can be great in this system, and it's all about just being consistent, coming in with the right mindset every day at practice, and putting it. Being intentional about my reps at practice, and then when I get into the game, just being confident in my training and what I'm coached to do. And I mean, it takes all of us, to communicate, to be in the right places for us to do what we want to do. That's all I'm trying to just win, man. I'm in year 10. I want to be here. This is where I want to be. I'm just trying to win, for real.
Just being back out there.
Yeah. I love it, man. This dude, he's got the right attitude. I'm telling you. He has definitely got the right attitude to do everything that he wants to do and to do everything the Cowboys wants to do. Let me read a couple comments before we get out of here, man. 3 hours of Cowboys content after dark. Man, I appreciate y'all rocking with me. We about to hit that 2:30 time. We're going to get out of here in a moment. I want to read some of these comments you guys got. Yeah, Azteca, I agree, and we kind of talked about this. But Chanel is talking about it too, that sophomore slump. And I talked about it too. You know, a lot of people don't realize, man, there are people that come in this league and they're kind of successful early on. We've seen this from quarterbacks. Dak Prescott's rookie year, CJ Stroud's rookie year, Lamar Jackson's rookie year. I mean, we keep getting these quarterbacks come in, but what happens is, man, once they get that tape on you, bro, it's a different ball game. Not only that, the NFL is a battle of attrition. Man, in college, if you stay 4 years in college, if you're on a team like an Alabama, a Clemson, you know, the big schools, man, you can get talent year after year after year. Texas, you can get talent year after year after year. The Ohio States, the Michigans, you can just get talent year after year. And let's say you're playing quarterback or, you know, whatever you're playing, man, it's a factory of talent. The NFL is different. You come in as a quarterback, nobody knows what you are. You got some pretty good pieces around you, and you play really well. Problem is, unless you get a team like the San Francisco 49ers that's going to throw everything but the kitchen sink around you, man, a lot of people don't realize when it comes to Brock Purdy, Kyle Shanahan might as well. I'm just telling you. Kyle Shanahan, to me, is one of those coaches. He seriously ought to consider resigning from the 49ers and going and take a year off and be the head coach for another team. I really believe that Kyle Shanahan missed his window. I really believe that Kyle Shanahan missed his window. Kyle Shanahan went to the Super Bowl with two different quarterbacks. And in particular, when we talk about Brock Purdy, they were loaded with talent around Brock Purdy. Brock Purdy did so well. I mean, Brock Purdy hit this league, man. Brock Purdy, Mr. Irrelevant, balling in this league. Not only had one, I mean, he actually had 2 years. And pretty much 3. But eventually, if you don't do what San Francisco did, San Francisco threw everything they had around Brock Purdy. The Cowboys didn't throw everything around Dak Prescott. They didn't. The Washington Commanders, they missed a year. They should have threw everything they could around Jaden Daniels. They literally should have went in this offseason. They should have got Devontae Adams. They should have been the team that was trying to throw those types of receivers. They should have got him the best running back. They should have got him the best wide receiver. They should have got the best left tackle. They should have blew the bank up because Jaden Daniels is on a rookie contract. Because I'm telling you, once you hit that second season and the talent changes around you, it's not the same, especially once they get tape on you. It's not the same no more. It's not the same. Teams know how to stop you. In order for teams not to stop you, they need to put an immeasurable amount of talent around you. That's what happened with Brock Purdy. Brock Purdy got 2 shots at it. One of them, he got an elbow broke or knocked out of place. The second one gets there and they lose. If you don't throw a bunch of talent around them, bro, they catch up with you so fast it'll make your head spin. It'll make your head spin. And now we're watching Jaden Daniels. Jaden Daniels is about to have one of the toughest seasons of his career. CJ Stroud. Ever since CJ Stroud came in, CJ Stroud had that great rookie season. They're talking about he's better than Dak Prescott. What has he done now in the playoffs? Look how he looks in the regular season. Look how he's already opening up this season. Man, you got to get it while you can get it. Because if you don't get it while you can get it, they catch up with you very quickly in this league. And as a quarterback by year 2, shoot, you do all that old razzle-dazzle stuff you want to in year 1, have everybody mind blown. Wait till year 2. They catch up with you. The Commanders were fool's gold. I think y'all are on to something. We talked about it before. The Commanders were fool's gold. They benefited from a down year of the Dallas Cowboys and the San Francisco 49ers. It looks like the San Francisco 49ers are about to have another down season. Now we got Brock Purdy up in here with turf toe. They talking about he could miss 2 to 5 weeks. And I'm going to tell you now, bro, once you get that turf toe, that's a nagging injury. Turf toe is a nagging injury. And they already still got a bunch of pieces. The 49ers have paid Brock Purdy and went backwards. They paid Brock Purdy and now they're going backwards. They're back in the rebuild mode. They are literally back in the rebuild mode. Kyle Shanahan, man, it'll be a couple of years before Kyle Shanahan gets back to form. So the only thing standing in the way of some of these teams like the Commanders is the Dallas Cowboys. And they definitely benefited from the Cowboys also having a down year and Dak Prescott being hurt. Dak Prescott is back. They will not get that luxury again. The Cowboys almost knocked them off last year with the backups. With Dak Prescott, they're going to probably sweep them. Yeah, Ryan R said, man, the Cowboys and 49ers falling off last year shifted the entire NFC and made things easier for Washington and Philly and the Rams because they didn't have to face their toughest nemesis. Straight up facts. Yep. Everything is about balance, Azteca, but it's different now. The Cowboys are back. Church, the NFC seems a little wide open. Yep. And I'm going to tell you, as it starts to wind down, I got a strange feeling it's going to be the Eagles, the Cowboys, the Packers, the Rams. I think those are going to be the 4 teams that come down to the Final Four. We'll see how it turns out. Tampa Bay going to have a little something to say in there too, though. Tampa Bay, I can see them being the number 5 team. But I do think it's going to come down to the Cowboys, the Rams, the Packers. It's going to come down to teams like that. It's going to be a knockdown drag out, though. I'm telling you, it's going to be a knockdown drag out. Michael Parsons is going to understand something, man. He hasn't had his run in the NFC. He's had his run in the NFC East. Man, he don't understand that division with the Lions, the Lions, the Bears, and the Vikings. He don't understand yet how tough that's going to be. That is going to be very tough because those games are played in the cold. Those games are played in the cold. You watch, it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. Man, that cold in Chicago is a different kind of cold. That is a different kind of cold. The cold in Green Bay, that's a different kind of cold. The Cowboys, as they go down the stretch, the Cowboys typically only have to play, we play Philly. If we play them outdoors late, it's cold. But it looks like this year, because we played them in Philly, we'll play them late. It'll be in Dallas. So we won't have to worry about that. Typically, the other team we play, you might have to play Washington in the cold. But when you're in Green Bay, your own stadium is open. Your own stadium has like blistering cold. Man, he gonna find boy, he gonna find out this year, boy. He gonna find out, man. Paul, when you played in the cold, it's a different animal, man. Whew. Yeah, Church said preach on them quarterbacks. After your first 2 years now, you got to raise your floor more than you raise your ceiling. Shoot. Hey, Church. Boy, they better throw talent everywhere around you. Because that window is very small, even for those rookie quarterbacks. Because they're going to catch up with you usually they catch up with you in a year. But if they throw a lot of talent around you, Purdy was hiding inside of a bunch of talent. That's why I was a little bit surprised that San Francisco paid him. This dude was This dude was buried in talent. And it's not that he wasn't making throws and he wasn't talented. But, boy, talent makes a big difference. This dude had Christian McCaffrey? What? Deebo Samuel in his prime? Man, this dude had talent around him. George Kittle, still got George Kittle. Man, they had this dude loaded with talent. Not to mention the defense they had on the other side of him. But now he can't hide behind that talent no more. Now he's supposed to be the talent. They've paid him. Welcome to the NFL. Welcome to the NFL. Now you are the talent. They paid you the big contract. Now they expect you to do more with less. Welcome to the NFL, bro. Welcome to the NFL. Azteca said, I have the Rams, Packers, Eagles, Cowboys. Me too. Rams, Packers, Eagles, Cowboys, Bucks, Seahawks, Lions. Yep. That's a good 7. That's a good 7. I could see maybe the last 2 being interchangeable if the Bears get on some kind of weird run. I could see it. Bruce said, hey, I was in the Army infantry in Alaska. That deep freeze cold will test you mentally. Yes, sir. Appreciate that super chat. Bruce, those are different kinds of cold. I mean, we get cold in Texas sometime, but when you talk, like you was in Alaska, man, I heard this Chicago cold is different. Man, I heard this doggone Chicago cold is different, man. Whew. Green Bay, places like that, I heard it's different. I wouldn't want to play there. Know what I mean? Boy, Ryan R., you better say it. Jalen Hurts was the fortunate one because Philly maximized the talent, gave him the sun, the moon, and the stars, and won the chip. Man, they threw talent at this dude. Threw talent at him. You're right. And Jalen Hurts is still benefiting from it because still got the talent around him. Still have the talent around him. Howie Roseman should probably win GM of the year every single year. He can win it every single year. They got a good team around him this year. Jalen Hurts still got the carryover from some of the team they had last year. I think it's going to be a little bit different, though, because they messed with his defensive line, but we're going to see going forward. Because I'm telling you, them boys handled up on him. Boys handled up on him. I fully expect the Cowboys to beat them the second time. I'm telling you, it will not surprise me if the Cowboys are a 2 or 3 seed. Could be 1. It's going to be a good battle. I agree. It is wide open in the NFC right now, and I think we're going to start jockeying for position around mid-season. We'll see where everybody is. We're going to be jockeying for position. And I think this is advantageous for the Cowboys because I think the Cowboys later around mid-season, Savon Revel Jr., Josh Butler, somebody mentioned all these players earlier, Josh Butler, Demarion Overshown. I'm telling you, when Demarion Overshown gets back, all this talk is going to be in the wind. Demarion Overshown and Kenny Clark, also Digizua. Boy, we're going to be hard to stop. I'm telling you, we're going to be hard to stop. Offense should be running on all 8 cylinders by that time. We're going to be hard to stop. Again, appreciate y'all rocking with me. Give yourself a hand. Appreciate you. Bench Chat on YouTube. 3.5 hours of content. We'll be back tomorrow at 4:30. We're going to start doing our game preview. I got a lot of that stuff pulled up. Got some good stats and stuff pulled up about the New York Giants and the Dallas Cowboys. So we're going to get into that. And we're going to start previewing this game and get ready for Sunday at noon. Appreciate y'all rocking with me. Let me read Azteca. Last comment, he said, if we don't win the NFC East Division, could you see us at the 5 seed? Yep. Yeah. I think the Cowboys and the Eagles are both making the playoffs. It's just a matter of which one is the 1 and which one is the 2. We're both making the playoffs, I believe. I believe we're both making the playoffs. Jerry said more talent around him doesn't make Hurts better than Dak. Nope. Dak remains the best in the NFC North and possibly NFC still. Can't sleep on Dak. I still say Dak is top 5. I still say Dak is top 5. I don't take anybody Mahomes, Burrow, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Dak Prescott. There's no quarterback I'm taking over Dak Prescott. I'm not taking Jalen Hurts. Not Jalen Hurts. I'm definitely not taking Jalen Hurts. I'm not taking Justin Herbert. I'm not taking any of these people that people try to put in front of Dak Prescott. None of them. So, again, I appreciate y'all rocking with me. Until the next time, TC4L, God bless. Let's talk Cowboys. We talk facts. Peace.
Yo, G, bless him, bless him, bless him.